Camera's rolling.
Maybe I'm too young to know any better, but I guess I'm just too old to care. I'm waiting on the morning light to clear the air. Now the sky is hung with regret, letting go that you pay flags. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at it now. I'm the one that you created. The one that you hated. Now the sky is hung with regret, letting go that you pay flags. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at it now. I'm the one that you.
Good morning, everybody. It is the weekend. It's Dad Talk today. And we got Mr. Dwayne Ward back in the house. What's going on, dude?
I am loving life, man. Actually, I got some new equipment. If you haven't already noticed, I'm actually almost as big as Eric here. I've upgraded the equipment. I've got to get Dad Talk today formatted and ready and stuff. Got a new mic, so hopefully my
There you
voice
go.
carries through okay.
You need some new headphones.
I do need to get new headphones. I mean, yeah,
Get those stars going, guys.
those look pretty cool. All I got is my gamer headset, and
It works.
It works. It does the job. Yeah, that's probably the next thing to kind of make it. But I don't want to mess the quaff up here. I got the we all can't have Eric Carroll hair. That's what is that? Is that like you got like a routine you go through in the morning?
I do. It was crazy. For like 10 years, I had the same haircut, and my wife's a hairstylist, and she was like, let's try something different. And I'm going to tell you, for the first 6 months, is like, I do not like this. But I'm okay with it. That was one thing that came with our family genes. We don't lose our hair, thank God.
Yeah.
We gray early. So that's one of the things going on. Do me a favor, guys. If you're watching this right now, I need your help. Pull out that phone. Whatever you're watching on, let's start hitting that like button. Let's share it. Let's subscribe. Let's ding the bell. We're going to do some dad talk today. Did you hear that word? I said dad. Yes. Come on. Yes, it is a good word. Dads are good. Men are good. It's crazy just how that one word dad can make people so mad. Dad makes people mad, Dwayne.
I know.
And, yeah, it's so divisive, just saying the word dad. And something today happened before I got on the show. Really pissed me off. I didn't know about this trend. I guess it's been going on for a while. Daddies come and go, but mamas always stay. I'm already ready to fire off on the mic how I feel about that, but let me get through with the rest, okay? Down here at the bottom, Dad Talk today, no spaces, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo, ways you can support this show. We got memberships and super chats over there on YouTube. We got the same thing on Facebook. And guys, are you drinking out your Dad Talk today cup today, Dwayne?
I am.
Yes, dude, look at that face.
I know. Well, again, I don't want to release any information.
No, you're good. We got to go ahead and make the announcement, dude. We got a new show coming to Dad Talk.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell them about it, Dwayne.
Well, you guys all know and love, I know I do, Jimmy Smith. We met him, Eric met him a couple weeks ago, and it was almost like ordained by God's kind of situation. Because you were never in the you're busy, you're working 25 out of 24 hours of the day and stuff, and you just happened on to this, and it just fell together. This guy, Jimmy, told a story about how the dad that he thought he had, it wasn't his biological father, and the sad part is that he wasn't able to connect with his father before he passed away. And so he's definitely part of the family here. But then, it turns out this guy has had a I don't want to say crazy life because that could go in a whole weird direction, but he had I mean, just like, I mean, the whole Magic Mike thing. He was in a boy band. He, health guy, workout in the wrestling. I mean, just, I mean, I'm sitting there like, I'm a Dungeons and Dragons guy growing up, and I'm like going, I screwed up. So, no, but, and you know, you made the smart decision to have him on. And like, you know, kind of feel, you know, you got to tell a story. You're like, man, something's really it's connecting.
It was, and he's been good for me and you behind the scenes, dude.
Oh yeah. I mean, Jimmy has been a wealth of knowledge. I mean, he's in the health.
Show.
Ooh, yeah.
He's helping me out. I got some guns.
Yeah, well,
I got some guns. We got some before and after pictures coming up for you guys. We won't talk too much about that one.
Yeah.
But the proof is going to be in the pudding. And Dwayne, you're going to be eating a lot of pudding.
I will be eating, well,
pudding.
I'll be eating protein pudding. All that. Yeah, one of the things about Jimmy, he's a huge health guy. In addition to all the other cool stuff he's done, and he's helping Eric and I, get these two old farts back into Magic Mike. I'm gonna go Magic Bob. Magic Bob area. Magic Mike, that sets up a
I don't want to give too much away before that happens. Farley and Swayze better happen, man.
We were
looking forward to that one.
We were joking. I do a little movie magic, and I'm wanting to do that scene from SNL with Chris Farley, God rest his soul, and Patrick Swayze and all that, and do kind of a little fun montage with that. So I'm hoping,
I can see it in my head.
I want that to happen. I
do too. I do too.
That's gonna be great.
I mean, guys. So, and you know what? I'm still on the road to recovery, but I think it's important. This family law stuff weighs you down. And if you're fighting this family law battle, you're being held back from your kids, you don't have any money, it's very hard to focus on anything outside of it. And you know what? Just like they say, you are what you eat, you are what you think. Okay. And if you're thinking that nonstop, life becomes very mundane. It's even, you're almost afraid to wake up the next day because you don't know what challenge is going to come at you next. Yeah. And it's hard for us guys to do anything for ourselves, let alone take care of ourselves. But it was having some people that I cared about, that I know that have my best interest at heart, that I went and got my blood checked. Dude, my levels were dangerously low. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've noticed on the podcast, guys, I'll get right in the middle of saying something and I forget where I'm at. I'm like, what is going on? But I've went to the doctor. They have found out what that is. They're getting me taken care of. Jimmy is helping me and Dwayne get back into shape. And I said, we got to practice what we preach here. Yeah. It was like fate, because I'll be honest with you, man, dude, I get comments on my stuff all the time. Check your DM. I wrote you a message. I can't keep up with them all. But I caught that comment that day of him talking about 18 years thinking that his stepdad was his dad, only to find out that it wasn't. And by the time he found his dad, he was already passed away, and found out his dad had been searching for him his whole life. That's got to be a pretty big thing. But it breaks back against the stereotype, because you got this 6'6" monster, the Big Show, up there crying about not being able to see his dad. So do not let Jimmy get through the first 5 minutes of that show tomorrow without telling you his story, because it's going to blow your minds, guys, when you find out. The last Magic Mike is coming up this month, I think. Yeah. One of the characters in there was portrayed after Jimmy in real life. He was a Chippendale with Channing Tatum. Yeah. I'll mess up the story if I say it, but he got to see the other side behind the closed doors of some of the stuff that was going on with women, and it's really skewed his outlook on how some of this goes. So hearing his dating tips and some of the things that he's got, and he has gotten a lot of well-known people into shape. Okay. Oh, yeah. And our guys need that. They need to learn how to take care of themselves and to prevent some of that. So I am glad to have other leaders being cultivated to where we can get these programs going on. That way we're just not in one direction, man. Like I said, I find it fascinating. He's a great speaker, and I'm looking forward to that show. I might join you guys on it tomorrow, but let's kick off today's conversation. I'm going to show you a video. I'm not going to lie. It ticks me off. And it wasn't just one video. I guess this has been going on for like a year. Somebody sent it to me this morning, and I was like, what in the heck am I watching? Now, in this particular video that I found, there's a little burn after it by somebody. I don't know who they are, but I'm giving credit to whoever it is. Let me pull this up on the stream, put us right here. We'll play a little bit of it, and then we will talk about it afterwards. Here we go.
but mamas always stay.
What in the name of child abuse did I just watch? This mother just made her young daughter parrot back to her the phrase, "Daddies come and go, but mommies always stay."
All right, that's enough. Daddies
Trigger
come and
warning.
go, but mamas always stay. So I found several of those videos on TikTok this morning, and they take their kid and get their kid to say that daddies come and go, but mamas always stay. And dude, it was going viral. And I was like, you know what? There will be people that come in this podcast. They do it all the time, saying we're being divisive and that it's not a gender issue. You look at stuff like this. You look at what's going on in the courts and tell me that masculinity isn't being attacked. Where is the moms too crowd on these videos? I don't see it.
No, we don't. Yeah, we don't see that at all, unfortunately. And yeah, I mean, triggered by that. I'm, one of those dads, fathers, men, whatever. And to see, a little kid being told, hey, the dads, they're, sperm donors, they're going to come and go, but mommy's always here for you. That just, I mean, the damage that's going to cause that kid throughout her entire life. Because again, she's going to go, well, and again, on one side is, hey, at least I've got, this safeguard of this mommy, but daddies, they're interchangeable. They're, we can throw them away. We can do whatever. That's teaching that kid that, guys are bad. And what's that going to do to her as she gets older and, starts dating and what she's going to, inflict upon the guy that she meets. I would argue is child abuse, because that you just can't, you should not be doing that to a kid. And for that woman, kind of choked on my words there, that lady, that woman, actually telling her kid that, I mean, you need to get CPS involved, but they're a whole other topic there, but that's just wrong.
So I just made a reply, and it's brand new, so we'll see how it goes. But you guys follow me over there, because it would be good to have your backup. But we'll play it for you. Let me see. Do I got that on the screen? Yeah. Here we go. Ready? Every time your dad tried to come, your mama always made him go, just because the courts and your mom made much more money with her having control. Daddies always come and go, but mamas always say, what? What? Yeah, right. I'm sorry, dude. I mean, it's so ridiculous, man. It's so ridiculous. But because of that bias and that stereotype, this is allowed to just exist out there. Guys, you got to start speaking up. You know what? I'm wondering, is there a dad on the other side of that screen that's being blocked the second that I see that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, gotta be.
That's alienation right in front of you. You're telling the kid that the daddy came and go, but the only one that matters is going to be mama, because she's going to be constant. Look, man, I was a guy. I raised a 1-year-old daughter, single dad, didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't come and go. I was here from the very beginning. They're acting like we don't even exist, man.
Oh, well, you had Dr. Baskerville on yesterday, which, by the way, great interview. Don't do it now, but if you have not watched that interview that Eric did with Dr. Baskerville yesterday, it was yesterday. I got a little brain fog. It was Friday. The days are all merging together, but yes. Great interview. But he talked about the myth of the missing dad and the fathers don't want to be in their kid's life, and I'm going to take PhD Baskerville here. Who's had decades of experience, has a multi-released author, been on. I mean, he's made the rounds. He's something that you can take, his word as an authority. And he said that this whole dad's, leaving and all that, on their own, is just largely a myth. I mean, yeah, you're going to have Sue and Bob, where Bob, just hit it and quit it and left the kid. It's going to happen. But not to that would give someone the audacity to jump on TikTok and make a video like that's gone viral, and make that okay. I mean, that's just not legit.
That's my problem with social media. I sat back for over a year and watched my name being smeared, and like he's not coming to see his kid, doesn't want nothing to do, and the whole time I'm in a wheelchair. Because I'm having surgery, but you just have to sit there. And it's like, if I respond, I'm doing exactly what they want me to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there is so many people that have been blue pilled that will jump on that and just take it because that's what's been said. They haven't been taught to ask questions. I'm telling you, dads are not as bad as they made them out to be. The system makes much more money with her having control and making him fight to be inside of his kid's life in the first place. The whole fight that he has to go and spend this money and go into those family courts and talk to the people he does is preposterous, man. It should not be happening. And that's what I said. I mean, like, they say it's not a gender bias and then it's division. Dude, the division was caused by the government and by these types of moms years and years ago.
That's
Do
a
dads
quote.
have rights upon birth? No. Do moms? Yes. And that is a very big problem. But we also say that it's equal. It is anything but equal. Like, get out of here with that, dude. And I think the only time that you hear those arguments, and it's usually the people that show up that want guys like me and you to shut up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
That's it.
How many posts do you get that just tell you to shut up and sit down? I mean, I don't know about you. My inbox is flooded.
Oh, all the time, dude. And so I want to make them happy this morning. I was going to wait and release that a little bit later on. We got the magic word. Are you ready for this? Dads, men, males, boys, masculinity. Ooh, dude. Dwayne, head's just
It's so weird.
and we all said, amen.
Yeah. Amen. I like that. Amen. Well, there was like even that art. There was an article that came out a couple of years ago, which I had pulled up, but they talked about the agony of being a 50-50 mom. This is I think out of the UK, and this lady is talking about it from her perspective. That she got 50, or that the courts, did 50-50, which I'm sure she fought every step of the way. But she talked about how it's just not fair and how this hurts and all this stuff about. And she, of course, got a lot of responses. Oh, you go, girl, and stuff like that. And it was equality. They got an equal 50-50 custody agreement. And she's talking about just how sad and how sorry and how bad it is and all that nonsense that the dad shouldn't have got it. I mean, that's and she's being supported. That was the kind of the point of it, is that people, oh yeah, you should do this, you should do that, you should trump up some fake DV stuff, and you should do all these different things. Our society is so conditioned to hate men. And I think with the recent bills that are coming down the path, I don't know if you want to even go there, it's never become more obvious that society hates men. It's open season on us.
I do want to go there, but the part I'm getting very frustrated with it because we will be on here screaming to the rooftops, Unborn Child Support Act. This is what's coming down. Okay. And you guys need to get boisterous about it. I don't see anybody really pushing back like we need you to. Guys, wake up, smell the coffee. We need you making sure that this is out there, because what's going to happen is these bills are going to go through. Then we're going to start getting the comments and the messages. Why didn't you guys do anything? Don't you even come in my yard with that bull crap. We are telling you right now. And just because I got a microphone and a platform doesn't mean we can do this by ourselves. I am telling you, we can't. We can't. And it's coming. I promise you, it is coming right before our very eyes right now.
Yesterday, the fourth, I don't want to turn this into Texas, but the fourth Texas retroactive child support bill got dumped. I've been actually reported on it at midnight last night because it just came over the wire. We've got 4 separate people in Texas. And I know the rest of the country's in here, but this is just how bad it is, talking about retroactive. Now, what they're saying is an unnamed, a woman can name any man. There's no DNA test requirement, and he will be responsible to pay for your crib, diapers, not the Walmart brand, Huggies, got to have Pampers, wipes.
Well, I bought those and they caused chemical reaction.
Oh yeah. Then well, as long as you pay for it, that won't. Those will magically.
Had the money. I was a bad dad for buying it.
Oh, well, yeah. You're a horrible father for buying Pampers and Huggies. But the one that they're sliding in there that should really be freaking everybody out is it says lost wages from postpartum and lost wages after, for the gestation, which for the non-medical folks is during the entire pregnancy, and for the after the child's born, the recovery. The bill is written to where Elon Musk, Elon's going to be like, he's going to have 1 billion kids or whoever the richest guy in the world is. But you are going to be responsible in cash to pay for her expenses until she goes back to work. Now, okay, these are my opinions. This is not Eric's. This is not Dad Talk today. I'm going to make a statement here, and I hope it's received well. But how many women are excited to go back to work after they have? These are my statements here. This will be me. How many women are excited to go back to work after they have a child? How many?
Dude, I got my father-in-law right now. He's not doing so well. My mother-in-law, they're both around 70, and she had to take off a little time from work, but she can't wait to get back to work because that it's not about the money. It's just about having something to do, not being stuck at the house and stuff like that.
Right.
We talk about the independence and stuff. I mean, this just makes sense. They have chalked it up to dads just don't want to pay money versus not looking at the conversations that dad wants to help raise his freaking kids, man.
Yeah.
We are fighting back at the stereotype that you've put on us, while at the same time, you got to keep saying this when it's not true to keep creating bullshit legislation like this, man, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, my head's about to burst hearing this stuff.
Oh, well,
it really is.
There's even more. So one of the first bills that came out said 50% that the dad's responsible for 50%, no DNA test and all that stuff. The next bill that just got dropped yesterday says equitable. Now, just so everybody knows, family courts are courts of equity. Let's see how fair that is. So when this bill passes, and it's going to pass, the dad will be responsible for the equitable amount of all of those things, postpartum, care, the whole 9 yards. It is going to be horrible. Oh, and they're putting through a bill that gives the attorneys the ability to collect the debt from directly from the dad. Let's just I keep trying to dance around parent from the dad. So they're going to give the power to the attorney to initiate the bill. Judge signs off on it, and then the attorney can use whatever collection recovery methods possible to get that money. Again, it's over. I mean, if these bills go in, it's over. I wish I could sugarcoat that one.
What do we do? What do we do?
What I've been telling people is, rallies and all. We need to start calling these people out. And I know that may not be the dad talk today. Is he Stephen Hughes?
Stephen Hughes, you're invited to the show. Who's next?
Mr. Rogers. I can't remember his first name. I just call him Mr. Rogers because
welcome to my neighborhood, bitch. Come on the show. I'm serious. Let's invite him on. I'm sorry, it just slipped out. Come on.
Oh God, we got to make that a tagline. Mr. Rogers, welcome to my neighborhood, bitch. Let's see, Steve.
Man, I just lost my PG.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm trying to remember all the I'm trying to remember the names of who put these out there, but again, these are the Texas guys. Jeff Leach, obviously.
He's a Leach, all right.
Oh yeah. And see, Deborah made a comment. Tell us how you really feel. Oh God, Sabrina, you have the world laughing right now.
You don't want to be my neighbor.
Yeah, you don't want to be a neighbor.
You don't want to be my neighbor. I'll be honest with you, dude. I mean, this is why I say going to the legislation is a dead end. Yeah. A lot of these guys, or any of these guys, people that have not had several advocates go into them trying to get support behind 50-50 bills.
Jeff Leach, he is in Texas. He was like the leaders here were like, oh, Jeff Leach is a rock solid father's rights guy. He's had Title 40 explained to him a million times. Blah blah. He's the one that introduced the first, wasn't the first. He worked alongside, but he was making sure that retroactive child support bill got put in. That's actually on his top legislative platform. That is his plan, is to get that done. We've got 4 bills at this point here in Texas. And again, dude. It's crazy. I mean, the only thing I can think of, because we elected these people, is I tell people, look, you need to quit caring about what happened at the Grammys. You need to quit caring about the Super Bowl. You need to get involved in this stuff and reach out, find out again, these are my personal thoughts on it. Is I would tell everybody across the world, find out who your legislator is, who's in your district, get their contact information, find out where they're going to be, what events and things like that, and peacefully and respectfully, not kiss their butt respectful, but respectfully go there and arm yourself with evidence and data and call these people out in public forums. That's all I can think of to do on the peaceful thing, because doing rallies, letter campaigns, they don't care. Again, these guys are getting millions of dollars and all the back room things, all that stuff. They could care less about a bunch of broke dads. And I mean, they, as Dr. Baskerville pointed out yesterday, these guys have known, the Office of the Attorney General, I believe it's a quote, said they're all crooked, not just the Texas one, but all of them are. That our legislators have known this on both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrat, maybe for different reasons. They all know this. So it's not an education thing anymore. But they go, hey, these guys care more that Smith got up on the Grammys and did his whatever, or who's playing in the Super Bowl, which, by the way, I have no idea who's in the Super Bowl. I don't even know. Is it tomorrow? Anyway, I'll be honest. Do not pay attention to sports. Dude,
do you know how the hardest interview I've ever done was just like a week or so ago when I had the fantasy football counselor on.
Oh, really?
I faked the whole area, and I told him that. I was like, dude, I still think that Joe Montana is a quarterback. I mean, that's about how much I know of it. And I was just like, so who do you think is going to win next season? He's like, oh, at the Super Bowl? I was like, oh, this season hasn't ended yet. Yeah. So tell me about toxic masculinity. I don't know sports. I was into rock and roll and women, and that's why I'm in the trouble that I'm in.
Maybe you got into sports. Maybe the sports nuts are the smart people. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they got something right there. Who knows? The thing I keep telling people is, you've got to get involved. And again, Eric, I know you personally detest politics. If anyone on this show, if you can say Eric X, you should be able to say Eric hates politics. But he's involved. He deals with he will do what's got to get done. He gets himself educated. He can call these people to task at a moment's notice. That's where we need to get, the millions of parents out there pushing back on their legislators. That's the only way this is going to change, unfortunately, with where we're at today. And make sure they don't get reelected. That's the other part of it.
I can see that one little tagline when I told him, welcome to my neighborhood. See, this is who this guy is. Now let's show him who you are. And so that's one of the things I've been doing behind the scenes lately, Dwayne. I've had several conversations, including Dr. Baskerville was talking to another person that's probably been involved in the shared parenting arena more than anybody, like 25 years earlier this week. And we're going over the strategies, the things that have been done. And one of the conversations that I do anytime I get to meet one of my elders, because I respect their hard work. Right. It's not that they did anything wrong, guys. Now that I'm in here and I work towards it all day long, trying to get something going, and I see how hard it feels like you're beating your head up against the wall sometimes. There's people that have been doing that for decades, and how they're still here, I have no idea, because it gets very upsetting. But I asked them, if you could go back to that person when you first started, knowing what you know now, what would you have done different?
Right.
None of them say, I wish I would have went more to the legislation. I wish I would have went more to the left or to the right. None of them say that. Money was always the biggest issue, because there is no shortage of ideas that we can do, but we don't have the money to fund it. But on the other side of it is the mainstream media is not helping, and we fought tooth and nail just to be able to get this word out. And so my thing has been, well, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to create the media. Because if they don't represent you in the media, you create your own media. And now we have an opportunity. If you don't want to support us, guess what? We'll do it ourselves and sit back and watch, buddy, because you're in for one hell of a ride.
Welcome
and I think we can do it. I think we can do it. And once we have our media and our people here, the ones that can't show up to the rallies, that can't afford all this other stuff, once we have that, we will become a force that will make them hide under the rug, right? Yeah. That's what this needs to become. Cockroaches. I mean, it is cockroaches. And that's what they do. They sit up under there and they're not even worried about you for 1 second, guys. I mean, Can I be honest? I'm going against everything I'm supposed to. You're letting out too much behind the scenes. No, I'm not. You guys need to know it. We are nowhere near what we need to be in order to fight this thing back. We're not even close. We haven't even came to the starting line yet, guys, let alone the finish line. It is like we are starting all over again, saying this is what's going on, and we've got to be able to organize. And part of that is letting you guys know where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to get this thing ramped up and going, but then you still got the media against you. You got the legislation against you, the courts, and now in social media, the narrative is worse than it's ever been.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Amber alerts. I don't even look at it. Well, when I look at Amber alerts, all those are dads. 99% of the time, dads that are trying to have time with their kids, and baby mama terrorist is trying to prevent that. I mean. That's where it's got. I mean, it's gotten, and you have to get out of the matrix, and trying to think of the analogy of opening your eyes and all that. You've got to see what it is and start teaching other people. Because I have on those Amber alerts, when people talk about that, I throw it in there. Well, I look at it, looks just like a dad wants to spend time with his kid. Sabrina, great. Having your own media means that we don't have to keep quiet on what they want to keep hidden. Welcome to the world of independence. Look around. Independent artists is taking over, and we are. Yeah, we're definitely getting better. We need to get a lot more people involved in various areas to make this done, to get this done. I mean, you were mentioning you were on calls and things like that. So what you're trying to tell me, Eric, is that you don't spend just 1 hour a day on the podcast, turn it off, and go to bed?
No. No, not by any means, man. I mean, we've had the opportunities. I've had several people that have tried to sponsor the show, and I'm just honest with them. My guys don't have money. And one of the main people that have wanted to sponsor this show is family law attorneys. And let me tell you something. I could get a ton of money if I came on here and said, hey, here's this attorney. You need to reach out to him. If I don't believe in him, it ain't happening. And I am almost to the point that I don't believe in any of them. I mean, I can count as many as I trust on one hand, and I can't fill up that whole hand. Yeah. You understand, guys? That's how bad that thing is. And dude, a celebrity was calling me right before we came on here. Eric, I need an attorney. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I'm not even about to give you a suggestion. I mean, it's that bad, man. And it's another case that should have never even been inside of the family courts to begin with.
Right.
Until we become, like I said, this conversation, fathers shouldn't even have had to go into family courts in the first place if they're fit, willing, and able. Where has that conversation left this movement? Because I haven't been hearing it spoke since I've been here until lately. It's always, you didn't fight hard enough in the family court, or you did the wrong thing, you didn't pay enough, or you did the wrong steps. I know people that did all the right steps, Dwayne, and they still got screwed.
David Henderson.
That's the way that it operates, man.
I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I did want to kind of pull back a little bit and talk about, that you are getting people that are wanting to advertise and do stuff like that on your show, family law attorney and stuff. And personally, I don't. When people try to use someone's show to self-promote and advertise it, really, I find it totally. It's just, hold on, man, that was. I tell you that Tumblr.
People will just sell out in a heartbeat.
I know, I hate that. And I'm going to bottom shelf this for everyone. If you haven't watched Wayne's World, go watch it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. New print, little, yellow, different.
Exactly. Sorry, the thing, I saw that opportunity and had to go for it. So go out to dadtalktoday.com, go on the store, and get some tumblers. We got T-shirts, getting all kind of mugs, airplanes. We talk about the jet we're selling. I'm doing that whole Pepsi thing.
Oh, we need Pepsi points.
We need Pepsi. Yeah, get some Pepsi points, and we'll get you a jet. It's a great documentary if you haven't watched it. But that's one way we can help and get those conversations started, because that's the only way this is going to change. Your legislators, Elon Musk, Eric Carroll, Dwayne Ward, Bob Jones. One person's not going to make this happen. It's going to take millions of parents that are fed up with their kids being sold like cattle to the government to make this change. That's the only way this is going to change.
You want me to be honest with you? If there is a sane person that gets involved in this and that is passionate, comes in here and sees the trials and tribulations of what it's like to be an advocate doing what we're doing, most people are going to say F this.
Oh yeah.
And they're just going to go somewhere else. And that's the problem. I mean, it just is. And I want it to get to a point to when we think about fathers' rights, when we think about this, people are excited. There is no need for resources or anything. This message is so red hot that if you don't get on board, it's not good for you. And that's where we really need to have it with the legislation. Until it's a popular thing to do, they lose too much money going against the women votes. They lose too much money going against the attorneys. And doing what's in the best interest of the family, especially to you conservatives, the one that's supposed to be about the nuclear family. It is all smoke and mirrors, dude. And we can continue telling our people, like, let's go down this alley. I'm not going to do it, dude. I am just not going to do it one bit whatsoever, Dwayne. I mean, I'm fed up, dude. I really am fed up. I feel like, we're still in transition of finding where it needs to go. In the meantime, let's create our media. Later on this month, 3 different documentaries that are going to be shot in 2 weeks. Now, there's a lot of work that are the real work happens once we end that trip, because the editing and stuff has to happen. But we are talking about going independent with this thing, because I want to be able to say if I want to say welcome to my neighborhood, bitch, I want to be able to say that without it being taken down. Okay.
Write that down.
And there's been several network offers, but what do I want to do? Go and for a little bit of financial security, get on this network and then be told like, oh, you're talking a little bit too much about women. Look, it's not all. There's some dads. You need to change your message, Eric. Screw you. Yeah. This is dad talk, man.
Yeah,
and we are saying that which has been needing to be said for a very long time. You can't let nobody take away your voice, man. This is my life's work. Okay, I believe in it, and I think it is going to take off one day. I really do, and I'm not selling out to anybody, brother.
Yeah, no, I applaud you for that. I mean, that shows integrity, and it would be so easy. I mean, because these law firms, they have reached out to a number of people, and they are offering some good money. I mean, it would be easy. You would not be going through the trials and tribulations you're going through right now if you had, 3 or 4 law firms. Doing
and there was no shortage of people that have tried. Trust me. No shortage.
So it's one of those things where we need the people to get involved. I mean, donate where you can, because that enables Eric to do different things. I mean, I know everyone's broken, everyone's hurting, but doing and if you can't give money, share, like, subscribe, because that gets out there in the algorithm and on YouTube and TikTok and all that stuff. And that helps out as well, because we can get that message out, to more people. Actually, I see a comment or a couple comments regarding a link to the laws they want to pass about child support. What I would recommend people to do is go to legiscan.com, legiscan.com, and type in your state, and then do a keyword search: child support, retroactive. That's what I do, and it pulls in. I think someone actually popped it up there in one of the comments, but that's where you can go and find out about these the laws that are coming down, who authored it, and it was funny is on Legiscan it has a link to find the money or followthemoney.org, so you can then see where all the money's going. It's interesting how that works, but
we ought to do some looking up of some of these judges and show where them donations are coming from one day.
I did a video, Gina Kalani, and not this last one, but the one before it, down here in Texas, where Gina Kalani, a Democrat, she, like, the Family Law Foundation, she obliterated this guy. It was hilarious, and a lot of good stuff. Well, I went to followthemoney.org a few months later. They donated, I think it was like $40,000 to her campaign, and that's how they operate. That is, and of course, now our new, the person that's in charge of what bills go where, Harold Dutton Jr., he gets money donated to him all the time. He used to be it. Actually, to completely sidetrack this thing, I did find a glimmer of hope. Let me give some hope here. And this may be a tactic that we need to use in other states, but Texas did it first. So we have a gentleman by the name of Mays Middleton. You may know the name. He's the author of HB 803.
He was a good one.
He's a good one. Well,
he was a good one. I got to give it to him.
Yeah, he had introduced a bill. Actually, there was an article about it and everything. He has introduced a bill, and I think this might be that come back around. He introduced a bill that is going to eliminate or stop lobbyists taxpayer lobbying funding. So basically, the Family Law Foundation, all these lobbyists that are paid to destroy your rights, it would no longer be tax funded, which would then have the money dry up. That I think would be huge if that bill actually gets passed. That would be huge here in Texas, and other states did something similar for states that have tax-funded lobbyists. Which, by the way, in your state, wherever you may be, there's probably a good chance that your funding. Mays Middleton, great guy.
Guys, do me a favor. Let's also show the support. Okay. Yeah. Let's get on this page right here. I'll even do it while I'm on here. I'm going to get on here and just put a thank you.
That's the bill right there. Texas could soon be the first state to end taxpayer-funded lobbying. We should. I mean, there are so few legislators, and I know I personally bag on all of them. I have a slightly different, rougher thing with politicians. It's hard for me to keep my composure dealing with them. But there are a few out there. Mays Middleton, I would argue, is one of them. He, from all the conversations that I've heard and been involved with and all that stuff, he doesn't care about the money. He's
not a sellout.
Yeah, he's not.
But dude, when I was there for 803 in the reading, the one thing that really gave me respect for Mays was at the end of that day, all those testimonies, he got up and said, I want you to see all the parents that are here supporting this. Their voice is speaking. The only opposition we had today, which was like 8 to 10 people, belonged to the Texas Family Law Foundation, who are the lobbyists to make sure that these laws aren't going to get through. We had no legit opposition. It was all bought and paid for. He called them out, man.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and Mays is a great guy. Everything I've seen from him has been just top notch. He has a heart for families. He's not a lawyer, which I think that's a good first step. He's a business owner, 4 kids. I think growing up, his family, he went through a divorce, so he got to kind of see, from my understanding. But yeah, I would recommend this. And this is an area, instead of just talking about all the bad, talk about the good. This bill that Mays has introduced. This could be a barn burner. I mean, this might have some good ripple effects, and if it catches in Texas, I would hope every other state does it, because I think the number I remember off that bill is Texas paid $75 million to lobbyists to lobby against families and for their own self-interest. $75 million taxpayer dollars. So for the guys and girls are like, oh, I don't care, it doesn't impact me, I don't have kids, or I'm not married. No, 75 million of taxpayer funds. Hopefully this is the money they're using. It's like when your ex-spouse takes you back to court for more child support, and then you have to pay the court costs. That's basically what it is.
Here, I wanted to bring up another one. Guys, same thing. Make sure to get on here and tell her thank you. This is the state of Georgia. Representative Dr. Jasmine Clark. She's liberal that sponsored the shared parenting bill. And this, dude, she's, I didn't know it until the other day when you was telling me about it. She's trying to put it through again. And I don't know that any advocates have been going to her and asking it. She truly believes in it. And there was one day I went up to the state house, man, and she was one of the only ones that let me in. And she said, Eric, if it has a better chance with getting a Republican to sponsor this, I'll gladly take off, give it to him, and then co-sponsor it. Yeah. She was willing to do whatever it takes to get it through. I can also count the good ones, like on 2 hands.
Oh, but yeah.
I want to make sure the ones that have fought for us, that we bring them up. And there's many of them. You'll know them by the fruits that they bear. They're not afraid to call out their colleagues one bit whatsoever. If you want to get a good observation of what's going on behind closed doors, go check out Representative Edwin Vargas up in Connecticut. Okay. I have never heard a representative or legislator that called out the judges, other attorneys, legislators, like he called them all out, dude. That's on Facebook. And he drove all the way to the Capitol to interview with us outside of the Capitol because the Capitol was closed because of COVID. Right. That was the determination and support that we have from this guy. There are some good ones out there, but one thing we've talked about this, Dwayne, we see people like Colonel Allen West that step up to the plate. We see these people that step up to the plate. And if they fight for us, guys, we've got to be able to fight for them. I know the people that's in here. Our vote doesn't matter. I understand where you come from. But we still got to fight in that arena no matter what. I think I want to spend my time more of trying to get the people together so that we can become that force. But at the same time, the ones that are fighting for us, we need to make sure that we're fighting for them. We might not have money, but dude, we can do this on social media. We can do this on social media. We can like and share your post. Get the hell out of here, Van Elvis.
Uh-oh.
We got this spam. Dude, what is going on Facebook and Instagram and all these fake profiles? Get out of here. They all got this magic person that they met that made their life better. And then here's the link down at the bottom of the page. Don't fall for it, guys.
Yeah, do not fall for it. This is not, it's not the rich Indian magistrate or whatever that has millions of dollars. Don't fall for it. There's actually a number of comments have popped up in here. Good stuff. I mean, I see Lauren Jackson. Hit the like button. Lauren Jackson wrote, "How in the hell can the government get away with spending that much of our money on destroying families? Who the hell is voting for this?"
We are.
Yeah, I hate to be the one to say that loud.
You won't vote. If you're not making sure that you got somebody else that's not going to go with the status quo, I'll tell you something, dude. Like Larry Sharp really lit a fire under my butt because I haven't gave much time to the Libertarian Party. I haven't. I understand what they're up against. But I say our movement has more similarities to the Libertarian Party than anybody else because we are the David versus Goliath. They are the ones that are lacking in resources, media, and the whole 9 yards. But when you hear what they're fighting for, you're like, holy crap, this isn't politics. They're saying what they feel. Go back and listen to what Larry was saying on that, dude. And it's going to take somebody like him, a revolutionary that is not a part of the establishment, that comes in, that can get on that debate stage and make them look like an idiot and show that this can be done for them to say, we got to get better. Right now, your lawmakers don't have to get better because of the political alienation. You're going to vote for them because of the letter and the color that's beside their name rather than what they are doing. And then when you don't vote, that becomes a part of it too, man. I'm going to tell you, I was this close the last election, Dwayne, just sitting at home. I said, I don't believe in any of them, dude. But I had to still get out there and do it because I knew I didn't want this, and it feels like you're voting for the lesser of two evils. Could we get some of our guys that are confident enough to go in and stand toe to toe with these guys? I believe in this era of social media, being able to get out the voice that if you can connect with the people, you can do it. Edward Durr, you need to be looking at Edward Durr. $250, I think, to $400 is what he had in his campaign, and he beat an incumbent with millions of dollars, dude. He was a truck driver. That's what I was. I was a truck driver before I started Dad Talk.
Yeah.
We the people, man. That's the reason that we made this country in the first freaking place, is to make sure that we're not going through the bull crap like we're going through right now.
Yeah. I mean, we need to be, get the numbers and get people educated. So, because again, here local, we had one where this guy, David Lowe, going for state rep against an incumbent, and he had no money to work with, and he was winning. And then she basically dumped out about $1 million. This is at a lower level position, $1 million to make sure that he didn't win. That is how much the GOP, the establishment, the Republicans, whatever you want to call them, this is what they're willing to do to hold on to that power and do all these bad things behind the scenes. And again, because I know someone's going to say, "Oh my God, you hate Republicans." I'm a conservative. I say I'm a hardcore conservative, social, moral, financial, across the board. Eric.
Don't
Joe,
even.
Joe, you hate Eric. If you're saying
dude, that's like one of the worst things that you could ever say. But you know what? even though I feel like there was a lot of time wasted in some of those political conferences, it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
It gave me knowledge. Politics is so fake, guys. If you want to make it in politics right now, you want me to tell you what you do? Go get you a nice suit, show up to these conferences. Anybody that you see on the news that's got any notoriety or whatever, get as many pictures with them as you can, throw the thumbs up, play a part of it, make sure that you parrot the same things that they're all talking about. In no time, you'll shoot up because people will think you're popular, connected, or whatever. And then you just go in there and make promises that you have no intentions of keeping. And then that's politics. And you know what? Our people fall for it. It's that fake. You don't have to have any knowledge in order to be able to do it. Just know how to get around, shake hands, take pictures, and raise money, and you can be a politician. Yeah. They all sound the same, dude. When's the last time you've had somebody come around that sounds different than everybody else? We don't see it. They all sound the same. Even after, like, look, love them, hate them. You know what? We're not going to get into that whole political discussion of left versus right. But at the same time, Donald Trump was different. Okay. Oh, yeah. He came out. It was no holds barred. I'm going to say whatever's on my mind. It made some people love him, made some people hate him. But at the same time, he was different. And then what we saw is the right all started copying the guy. Yep. But the ones that copy him are the establishment. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, they want politics to go back to the way that it was because it makes too much money. And as much as you might be sick and tired of politics, these are the people that are screwing up the family courts, that are canceling the dads, but are also on the screen saying they want to protect your right and protect the nuclear family. I mean, dude, it stinks. It crazy. Stinks. I'm having to really go PG. I'm having to think about it every time because if you heard what I really wanted to say, I'd probably get canceled.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, we've got to get people, and I know, I mean, the last thing you want to do is sit here and scour through Legiscan or some other website to learn about all these bills. But these guys are sliding stuff through. I mean, this is some of the low-hanging fruit stuff. I could show you bills that they're putting through right now that would just blow, I mean, over the top, blow your mind. And it, unfortunately, is going to take people not caring who wins the Super Bowl and getting involved in this stuff and calling out their legislator. That's why I say, I don't, you know, wherever in the world you are, if you're allowed to have some kind of free speech. I mean, if we're talking to Australians and folks in Japan and all that, sorry, shouldn't give up your guns. But as far as the United States, you need to find out who your legislators are and then go to their events when they're having their dinners and stuff like that and call them out and do it respectfully. But you need to call them out, and that at least you're doing something. I mean, sitting back and believing their nonsense isn't going to work. I mean, this last election cycle, I did my best to get, you know, stuff out there, but people just, you know, they didn't respond to it, or they, after being shown all this data, they go, well, I'm going to vote for this person anyway because I've always voted this way, and that's the way I'm going to do it.
Well, I mean, and it's, dude, like, just because somebody says they're red or they're blue doesn't mean they're red or blue. A lot of them are having to run in other parties just because of the area they're in, that if they did the other side, they wouldn't ever get in. And you don't find out what they're going to be like until they're in office. But because they've got your team, your football team, you're going to sit there, you're going to make sure you support them. We have been that easy to dupe, dude. And that's why I think the mainstream media is so dangerous, because they play into that same system. That's where you're getting your news. And the reason I say that we can overthrow that now is, look at this, dude. Dwayne, me and you wouldn't be doing this 20 years ago. If we did, it would be on something, you know, that
zero on AOL
would be on, right?
I'd be like, hold on, Eric, I need to get my AOL CD to upgrade my next 30 days of free internet on my dial-up or something.
Which does bring me up. I guess I could talk this off screen. What do you think about Twitch? I was reading on Twitch last night that a lot of people are doing podcasts over there. We need to get a Twitch and a Discord and everything going, guys. I'm looking at doing some upgrades to the show. But another thing that I would like to ask you is, it's very hard when you don't have the resources to keep this thing going, but at the same time, there is a creative freedom. You can say that which needs to be said. Yeah. Every day that goes by, I'm looking at some of the offers that I have on the table and saying, I don't want it. I want to stay here with my guys. At the same time, are they going to support it? if we do this? Are you going to support it? Can I have your promise that if we keep what needs to be said being said, and that we create this, that you guys are going to come out and support it right now with this Unborn Child Support Act? We should be having mass hysteria with this movement pushing back right now. And we don't have it. And the part that upsets me, Dwayne, is I know how many people that we have that are against it and that would be a part of this conversation, but they're not here.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, on another podcast and stuff I do, I've been having like a daily, actually multi-daily, hey, I'm going to spoon feed you guys. And I pull the bill up and I talk about the bill and I read parts because I'm like, hey, maybe got, over the road truckers or people that, they don't want to go out and read stuff. They'll have my sexy voice read to them. So I will pull it up and talk about the bill and say, hey, this is how you can fix it. This is how you can do whatever. And the most I'll get is, yeah, that sucks. That's horrible. Dude, you guys I'm telling you, and again, this is not the sky's falling. Well, the sky is going to fall. If these bills, one of the 4 bills in Texas, and there's 3 bills nationally, I think it's 3 or more. If those bills go through, it's game over. I mean, I would just tell people, don't get married, don't have kids, don't do any of that stuff. Of course, guys are going to be dumb enough to do it, but it's going to be horrible. But I try to get this information out, and people largely just don't care. They're like, eh. And as you said earlier, that there's September for Texas bills, and I don't know when the national ones go through. But when this happens, and that first, Mr. Jones, guess what? Sally named you as the father, and don't worry about the DNA test. It ain't going to happen. You're the daddy. I see that you make $100,000 a year. Guess what? 25-30% of that going forward is ours. And oh, by the way, this is retroactive. We're going to charge you 9 months previous as a dump. So we're going to say you owe me 10 grand. And by the way, since it took the judge decided to backdate the order, it's now a year old. So now that entire year you get 6% per annum in Texas. It's different in other states. So you owe us $12,000 right now, and you're going to start paying around $2,000 a month for a kid. You're not going to get to see the kid. Yeah, we're not going there. And by the way, you got 30 days, or we're going to hold you in contempt and throw you in jail. Yeah, there's a bill that's going. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll do this past tense. That just went through that Harold Dutton did that. I can't put you in jail for 6 months anymore, so I'm going to put you in jail for 59 days. So we can't hold you in contempt for that. But we're still going to charge you interest. And then I'm going to pull you right back out and retroactive it. And that's what's going to happen. That's not far-fetched. That's not.
What are the limits on these bills that are coming out with this Unborn Child Support Act that
None.
puts the limit on the retroactive part?
None.
It doesn't say a year or 2 when the child's 5.
Nope.
I haven't seen no limit at all. So when there is no limit and they don't specify what's going on, could they go back to somebody that's already aged out of the system, paid 18 years in child support, and said, hey, you owed 9 more months for a kid from 20 years ago?
Yep. Oh yeah. No, that's definite. And I'll tell you
Think about it, guys.
I'll tell you why this is happening. ACF came out with a report. It's actually on the Pissed Off Parent Facebook page. I shared it there. I got pulled up here in a bit, but they, for whatever reason, they lost money. Well, I assume it was due to the bug, but they lost the Title 40 funds, the amount that each state gets. So they were trying to figure out why. Boy, I'm getting ready to go total rant here. Stop me, cut me off. So
I go with it, man.
Last couple of years, they've been losing Title 40 funds to the states, even though Texas, which wins every year the incentive, the bonus check pool, but the other areas of collections and grants, that's been down for, I think, obvious reasons. And then they've been trying for a while to get more Title 40 funds to come out, and they've been trying to pass this bill for the last, I'd say, 5-6 years that couldn't get through, this retroactive child support bill. And then just coincidentally, we don't know what happened, Roe v. Wade gets moved back to the states, and then boom, bills. It's so weird.
You see how the Unborn Child Support Act is going to be an amendment to the Social Security Act.
Oh, already written. Yeah, it's already written. The language is already in there. It's done. Oh, yeah. And that's the part where I start really going tinfoil hat, because I'm like, when you sit back and
Not
look at how
tenfold
it
hat, though,
happened.
Dwayne. We've already seen him do this
Oh
for
no.
decades.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've been, yeah. I actually, I've been in the movement now for a decade as of this year.
Have you?
Blows my mind. Yeah,
God bless
10
you.
years. I'm only 24.
I believe it.
It ages you. I was talking to another guy offline a couple days ago, and I'm like, holy crap! I got that special letter or got that special serving this year a decade ago. So that's how long I've been in this. And I'll tell you right now, the needle's actually moved in the wrong way. In the 10 years I've been involved, it's actually getting worse. We went from nationally, and of course my home state, getting worse and worse and worse towards men. I mean, there is an active all-out war on dad's masculinity. It's going to change.
And we got to change some of the ways that we've allowed this conversation to be said. I don't even know if you noticed, Dwayne, like earlier, I heard you say something about dads. She was like, well, 99% of dads. And then you started going this way, as we have to constantly apologize for speaking about dads. Hell no, dude. Remember what I said, dads, men. We're going to cheer it on. Be proud to be dad. Be glad to be dad. It makes you mad when you makes them mad when you are dad. But we have told people not to talk about the challenges these guys are going through, and we expect it to get better. It is not going to get better. The one thing that has moved a little bit is more men are speaking up. There is the TikToks and stuff of people making it, but I go to stuff like this. Daddies come and go, but mamas always stay. And dude, I see millions of views on it and hundreds of thousands of likes. And I'm like, they have no idea the narrative that we're up against. Dude, we are going to need so much more than dad talk today. Like, I'll be the first one to tell you. And the only reason that I didn't walk away a long time ago is like, if we don't fight it, who does? Let me ask you a question. You said you've been doing this a decade. You've seen the needle moving in the wrong direction, even though you've been here for that decade. Why are you still doing it, Dwayne?
I want what's best for my kids, your kids, everybody's kids and our families. When I got served and started this process out, I made a silent promise to my kids that they weren't going to go through what I went through. And that's, again, extended out to your kids, everybody's kids and families. And then from there, I've learned just how destructive this fatherlessness issue is for the world. I mean, it is horrible what's been happening to our kids. We got more kids hopped up on medications. We've got baby daddy government coming in. The programs that they're offering. I was listening, so I was going to talk about some of the CPS abuses. Actually, I had a CPS event, and it's where I was told, my current wife and I were sitting there, and we were being told that if mom gives the kids drugs, it's okay, it's parental prerogative. But if I were to do it, I would lose custody of my children. And then my wife said, wait. She said, well, what if I do it? She's not even the boys is their biological mom. And the CPS agent said, yeah, you're okay. He can't do it. And that's just the way it is. I got to get that sound bite and put it out there because I know no one's going to believe it. But that's just how bad this is.
I do.
Get out to the site.
Yes.
Check out
the shop. I appreciate that, Harrison. We've got multiple different things, guys. Merchandise is just ridiculous right now for what it's costing to make it. But we've also got some of the lower tier up to the upper tier with the messages and stuff on the back. Everything you do helps us out. But one of the stories that came across me yesterday was about a dad. He was married, had 2 kids with this woman. They had a little split. And in that split, because they were still married, she had a fling. And then she comes back. And dude, he thinks, the times matched up about around the time that they broke up, and come to find out, kid was never his. The Office of Child Support told them plainly, it's not about who the biological father is. It's about who has the best financial interest. That's the best interest of the child. So they're telling this dad that he still has to pay him because he was married while she was having an affair. He is on the hook.
Yeah.
How is that not an attack towards masculinity, dads or fathers? How is that not an attack? Now, let me ask you a question. Do moms go through that? Can they go through that? And that is the absurdity of when you come in here and say that these dads aren't going through these challenges. You do not go through that. Imagine being told that you are on the hook financially, having your whole life destructed for a child that wasn't even yours because your partner had an affair on you. And dude, that is not a one-off. That is very common because I was married to him, because my name was on the birth certificate. I'm on the hook. And nobody has a bit of empathy for him. I think one of the biggest challenges that we face for these attorneys, these legislators, these judges, is they see these two faces on the screen and we're easy for them to hate. They have no connection to us. But one thing I would like you to do is stop right now. If you have a son, you have a grandson, nephew, whatever it is, and I want you to get them, maybe it's a baby, and I want you to look them in the eyes and say, I believe this system is good enough for this boy right here. That's who I want you to look at. Don't look at us on the screen. You can hate us easily, but I want you to look at your own family in the eyes and tell me that you believe in this system and that the future is set up for him to thrive, because you know it's a lie. But they're not looking at it like that. But if you would, if you take the time to actually sit there and think of how it's going to affect you, because most of the time, that's the only time you're going to do anything is if it affects you, you'll see that you're setting your own self up for failure. But that money, man, that money just talks too much, Dwayne.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No. And that's what people need to start thinking about is that, what are you doing? Because again, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but when I became a dad, it was the biggest thing in the world. For me, I looked at my kids, bio and bonus, and said, I've got to change the world for you. I've got to make this the best I can, do what I can. I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I'm failing big time, but
blaming yourself.
That's what it's about. Well, that's part of that's my kink.
Well, dude, look at Justin the other night. Here it was. His son died. He was doing everything he could.
Oh, yeah.
His son wasn't eating and everything. Now his son passed away. He was there for him, and he's sitting there saying, it's my fault. Every time this stuff happens, these dads will add that baggage to their shoulders, even though they're doing their best, and they think it's their fault. And you wonder why men's self-deletion is the way it is. We will take the fault of it, just trying to make it make sense. Right. And it's so wrong, dude. We just expect these guys to keep carrying this baggage, and nobody even bothers to listen to him, man. And I know for people that haven't been through this, they're probably listening to it right now thinking, oh man, this just sounds like victimhood. They're trying to make victim mentality. No, dude, if you sit down and you read the stories and you look at the laws, it's anything but. These guys are asking for equality. There's a reason why if you see the magazine, when Brad Pitt got 50-50, it said Angelina Jolie lost because he got equal custody, and because the dad was not supposed to get equal custody. That was a loss for her. The kid won. They both won. They're getting 50-50. That's saying it should be split right down the middle, but it's going to be a loss for her because the system is not supposed to let a man have access to his children. It doesn't profit that way.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. And that's the thing is that why is it? I mean, why do we look at when a dad gets equal custody, or why is it looked at like a loss? I don't get it. It does not make sense. And I hear women, personally and professionally talking about, when they have custody and the issues there. And I'm just like, sometimes I'll be honest, I stay quiet. But sometimes I'm like, have you listened to yourself talk about this stuff? Have you listened to what you're saying? You're okay with doing these things, keeping the kid away from the dad. I'll allow it to happen. And I think I triggered you there.
No, I'm about to pull up something to show the absurdity of it. I've got it waiting. All right, well, let's go ahead and let's pull it up.
Throw it up.
Dad in Ecuador legally changes gender identity in desperate bid to win custody of children. The man said being a father in Ecuador is punished. A dad in Ecuador who is dealing with an acrimonious split from his wife legally changed his gender identity to help him win custody of his two daughters. Being a father in this country, Ecuador, and this is a completely different country, sounds the same, is punished, and I'm only seen as a provider. Renee Salinas Ramos, 47, told local outlet La Voz del Tamamba, according to New York Post, what I have been looking for is to give the love and protection that a mother can give her children. Selena Ramos' official ID card now lists him as a feminino. I guess I said that right.
Female.
Despite the dad still seeing himself as a cisgender male. Ecuador passed a law in 2015 that allows people to legally change their gender on government-issued documents. The laws say that the one who has the right is the woman. As of this moment, I am female. Now I'm also a mom. That's how I consider myself, Ramos told local media on December 30th. I'm very sure of my sexuality. What I have sought is that I want to be a mother so that I can also give the love and protection of a mother. That is Salinas Ramos. Doesn't look like a woman. Selena Ramos claimed his 2 daughters were living in an abusive environment in their mother's home and that he had not seen them over a 5-month period of time. The custody battle is still ongoing. Until this matter is resolved, they have to stay with their mother. Selena Ramos told the media, according to the New York Post, the law has taken away our right to be parents. Changing my official documents is a proof of love. Let me ask you a question. That sounds completely absurd. Why did he do that?
I think the guy's a genius personally, but he did it because
we've all thought about it, right?
I thought about it.
How many people for years have sat back and wondered what was going to happen when somebody does that? And it took a father in Ecuador to do it.
I'm like, but this is the lengths that fathers are having to go to in order to get a fair shake in court. I mean, words escape me. It's insane. This is what we've got to do. I heard that the feminist organizations or the alphabet soup folks are they were like mad about it. What was that wrong? Was that not PC? I'm sorry. I'm old. I can't remember all the letters they use now. Is it guns, bullets, Bible? Anyway, but they were all up in arms about it. But a dad having to take this crazy radical step in order to get a fair shake in court. It's nuts that we have to do this. It's nuts.
Well, the even crazier thing is it'll probably work. What would happen if Jeff Younger done something like that?
Oh man, God, I feel so bad for Jeff. Oh.
I do, man. I do. And you know what? What's so sad about his situation is it's like he's the experiment going into the new age. Now that this is going on, it was like he was one of the first cases. So they've really made an example out of this case. It's not just mainstream media. It's become political. It's become all different sorts of things that are involved in this case. And there is a child being used in the middle of this experiment to see what's going to happen. If it takes a dad going and doing something like that in order, dude, just because you say your identity's changed, that means that you can have a completely different outcome in your case. If there wasn't a bias against men, why would guys even ponder doing something like this? And it's really going to hurt the alphabet, because when you say, look, they're not this, they're this, they're just faking it. Well, if somebody else says that about somebody like that, it becomes discrimination and all this other stuff. You can't say that. You can't hate on that guy for saying that. It's politically incorrect to tell somebody what they are or what they're not. So if he does that, you can't bring in that argument. That's really got to piss him off.
That's using their own words against them. And actually, it reminded me of another story that came out, I guess, a few years ago. They had a woman change or identify herself as a man. I believe you've read that same story. But she tried to live as a man and eventually self-deleted because she couldn't handle it. With all the pressures
I
and
didn't
all
know about
this.
that one.
Oh, I'll send it to you offline. But yeah, this young lady, she said, you know what, guy, females are oppressed and or and men have the life. They are, they're up here, they're awesome, and then whatever. So she's like, all right. And she did there was a movie that came out in the 80s, just one of the guys, where a girl actually became a guy they can try to get better housing. Anyway, she made herself a man and portrayed herself as a man, and the way she was treated and everything that happened to her, she eventually self-deleted because she just couldn't handle the pressure. And she saw all the injustices.
Well, dude, and that's what gives me so much hope for this movement, because I know it seems like we're so far behind. There is people that are waiting for us to say what's on everybody's mind. And once that happens, I believe it can take off like this. Look, Matt Walsh, what is a woman? Dude, we thought that nobody was going to be able to fight back about it, but I sit there and watch what Matt Walsh has done with that documentary. Watch 14 million times since he's made it. And you find out just how many people were thinking the same thing, but afraid to speak. And it's no different than dads. These dads are wanting to speak, but they're afraid if they do, it's going to be used against them in court. It's going to make their situation even worse, and that they're just going to stay silent. That's their only option. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and or do will be used against you in a court of law. And because of that, they stay silent. They bend over and say, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. What's my price tag of being a dad? You know, what is a woman? Nobody can answer that. Let me ask you a question. What is the cost for being in your kid's life after divorce? Can anybody give me that number? What is the cost for a divorce?
Yeah, mine was cheap, about $300,000.
Oh, 300,000. Okay.
Yeah.
My first one was like 10, because it wasn't contested. Wasn't even contested, and it cost me about 10.
Mine was, again, when I started going to get in Texas, I learned the date after seeing my attorney in league with the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, in order to get 50-50, I know what I'll do. I basically got all my assets, said, here we go, take all my money. I want $50,000 a month child support. Let's do this. Because I knew I would be a weekend warrior if not. So that's what I did. That's, I say it cost me about $300,000. And I know others that have spent a hell of a lot more. I mean, Jeff Younger, I think he's over $1 million now.
Dude,
and lost.
They might not want his name out, but dude, I mean, I know a buddy of mine that worked on a case with a billionaire. And the billionaire found out that the kid was never his in the first place. Millions and millions and millions of dollars for a case of paternity fraud that was going on. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. It affects us all. But I mean, I think some of the celebrities and the mainstream cases usually seem to take the front page. And what pisses me off about when celebrities go through this, they have the resources in order to be able to fight it. And once they get beyond it, you don't see him anymore. Johnny Depp, I'm very disappointed in right now. I'm not going to lie to you. Depp was one of the most important cases out there, but where the hell are you? You used the publicity and you used everything to get people on your side and to say, look, this is what's going on with me. And now that all of your brothers out here that were supporting you and cheering you on from the sidelines are going through it, we don't hear nothing from you. I know that you were ready to get through with that case and you needed to get away from the media scrutiny and everything. But to know that there is something like that and then to turn your back on it really ticks me off, dude. I have had the hardest time getting different celebrities and stuff to speak up about it because they say, how does it affect me? What good does it do me? Could you imagine? The reason that we're here is everybody has had that same outlook on it, man. We need you guys to speak up. And the guy that's out here making $10 an hour and having to pay $500 a month in child support and not being able to see his kid, and that $500 isn't going to support his kid. They're coming with raggedy clothes and stuff like that. I feel more sorry for than I do a celebrity any day.
No,
and they matter just as much. They matter just as much. They might not have been in the movies. They might not have sold tickets, but they are what makes the world go round. Dads and families is what makes the world go round. And if we can't fight for that, what the hell can we fight for, Dwayne?
Oh yeah, it's crazy because like Johnny Depp, he made his money on the big screen, doing this. You got somebody mentioned Tyrese, I think it's Gibson. Yeah, Gibson. I think Deborah mentioned that, and a whole bunch of other people. I mean, their job is to get in front of people and talk and do stories and all that stuff, and then they. Well, as Deborah pointed out, went silent. They all just, once they're out of it, they go silent. And almost in ways I would expect, folks that are dealing with it, in their personal, your truck drivers, your nurses, your plumbers, all that stuff. They don't have the fortitude after it's all said and done. They're like, I got to take a break. I mean, this is just a horrendous thing, and them, bailing or not being part of it. I can understand them doing it more than I can our celebrities. Johnny Depp. I mean, he's not knocking out a 9-to-5 job 7 days a week. Tyrese, I mean,
what went on with Tyrese? I don't even know that story.
Well, I'm trying to. So he broke down like on TikToks. He was wanting to see his child, and the baby mama terrorist wasn't letting him do that. And he's like, I just want. He freaked out. He's like, I just want to see my child. And people laughed at him.
Really?
That's the other part. Laughed at. You remember Will Smith? Going to the masculinity thing. Will Smith. Like him, hate him, whatever. He's a slappy guy. But he was when he found out that his spouse was in an open relationship and didn't tell him. He's sitting there and he starts crying, because he just found out his wife has been cheating on him like crazy and thinks it's okay and all that.
Oh, you talking about Will?
Crying. Yeah, Will Smith.
Dude. I felt sorry for the guy in the beginning, dude, but he still goes down with that blue pill logic and doesn't realize he's putting himself in that situation.
Yeah.
I was that guy too. I did the same damn thing, Will.
Oh.
I did, man. I think a lot of us did. We thought that was the way it was supposed to go. But at what point do you say, I'm putting myself in this situation?
That's the thing is where you got to take yourself out. And one of the things I wanted to at some point talk about in one of these shows is the whole MGTOW thing. I'm a married guy. You're a married guy. I don't know what to tell kids. What can I tell that 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 25-year-old kid? I want to help because I get your inbox is beyond slam, mine's slam. And I get, what can I do? I don't know what to tell these kids. I don't know what to, the world hates them. They make fun of him if he shows any amount of emotions. If he's got a 70% shot of having his entire life screwed up at the whim of a false report. I don't know what to tell these people.
Unfortunately, I believe in the nuclear family. I believe in marriage. I believe in what marriage and the family is supposed to be. We are so far from that right now that I believe more in MGTOW as a way of life than I do marriage. And that hurts because I want it to be opposite. I really do want it to be opposite.
Yeah.
They are going their own way for a reason. And I don't look down on those guys. And I'm glad that some of these guys have that as a landing spot after they go through these situations. It's telling them, go your own way, learn to love yourself, learn your limits, and don't fall for the bullcrap anymore. And it's the only way they have with the way that the laws are set up right now to protect themselves. And that's unfortunate because you shouldn't have to protect yourself against some of the crap that we're seeing right now, dude. And even that has the stigma attached to it, right? If you're one of those MGTOW guys, MGTOW is very healthy. And it's self-preservation, man. Self-preservation. I would love to see healthy marriages and families and that home. But that seems more of a fairy tale than anything right now. And that hurts.
Yeah, I would love to be able to, tell kids, hey, when you grow up and, get married, have kids. I want to be a grandpa. I'm actually dog sitting this weekend. So this is my first, my oldest, him and his girlfriend, they got a dog and we're dog sitting. So this is kind of my first grandparenting experience. And I want to be a grandpa. I want to, do all the stuff the whole, actually the thing on the pissed off parent side is grandkids, the reward for not killing your own kids when you have the chance. It's funny and true. I want to be a grandpa, but I can't in good conscience recommend any of my kids get married or have kids because on the whim or whatever, they can have their entire life script. And they saw what happened to me. So I know, not to be a Debbie Downer here, but I just don't know what to tell these people. The laws are getting increasingly worse. Again, when this retroactive child support bill goes in, good night, puppy. It's going to be over. I'm waiting for the day that you and I are offline. You go, hey, dude, I just got this letter from an attorney that says that I'm the baby daddy of so and so over in California. You're like, I've never been to California, and we're both going to know that it's not even going to matter.
Well, and Oh, dude, the confusion that I think the entire movement community faces sometimes. Like, we'll get the messages. What are you going to do about it? That's not what you should be asking. You need to be asking, what are you going to do about it? That's all I'm going to tell you. I mean, I think people are looking for somewhere to place blame, or just, I don't want to deal with it today because I got my own life. So they're the ones that's up there talking about it. They got to do something about it. Dude, we're sitting back waiting on you guys. You know what?
Yeah.
Doing what we can.
Yeah, I mean,
welcome to my neighborhood.
Yeah, my neighborhood, bitch. I mean, yeah, are we going to get a hold of Jeff Leach and go, look, dude, if you continue with this bill, me and all the 20 people that are on the show, or the 100 people or the 1,000 people that watch it, we're going to make sure that we don't vote for you. He's like, yeah, sure. But if we get 1 million people that say, look, we listened to Eric and he talked about this retroactive child support, that's a bad bill. And if this thing goes through come next election cycle, you're gone. And 1 million people are going to make it happen. That's
I'm
all I
going to
can
tell
think
you,
of.
whether it's 20, whether it's 100, whether it's 1,000, that Facebook page of his, it's a public profile. You guys can go and tell him how you feel about it.
Yeah.
As much as you want to. Have you ever thought about that? Marco Rubio, Senator Kevin Kramer, Senator Marsha Blackburn. Who was some of those other legislators, Dwayne, that was in on this?
Oh, Stephen or Brian Hughes.
Brian Hughes.
Mr. Rogers.
Hughes.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see.
Leach, Jeff Leach, Marco Rubio, Kevin Kramer, Cramer, Senator Marsha Blackburn, Marsha Blackburn, Blackburn. It's a public page. You can tell them. I mean, maybe we could go and say a little word of support now, because they ain't supposed to block you. They're a public profile. You let them know how you feel. I think they did that anyway during HO3, didn't they?
They did. They did. And I would actually call them out, because there's actually a law that there's a lawsuit that whoever it is did against somebody, and they came down and said, hey, you can't do this, and they paid them damages. And I would put it out on their page and say, look, you can't do this. And they're like, we don't care. But then I'm like, oh, I'm going to go complain to our district attorney, who's in the back pocket of all you people. we voted for this. Let's see. We got Mr. Rogers. Actually, let me get his first.
Maybe we can show you how to do it live on this show. I'm trying to set it up.
Yeah. Glenn Rogers is the guy.
Glenn Rogers, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the one that needs to be welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to legiscan.com, put in your state, type in a text search, or if you know the bill, you can do that. It'll give you information at your fingertips. I mean, and you can read the bill for yourself and go, hey, Dwayne and Eric, we're full of crap. We misquoted. We're just, causing a panic. Or you read the bill and you go, holy crap, this is going to be bad. I got to pay for her wipes. I got to pay for her crib. I got to pay for her not to go back to work until she decides to. I mean, they do so well with that free check they get now from child support. You honestly think, I don't know if we talked about it on this show, I think I did. The attorneys are going to put through a bill to where they're able to personally collect on money from dad, that they can use whatever collection means.
Tell us about it.
Oh, yeah, there is a bill. It's in Texas, but we all know what's going to spread out there, that attorneys, once they get the judges sign off on, they can charge attorney fees. That becomes part of the judgment. And then they give that to the attorney personally to execute the judgment against the debtor, i.e. the dad. So, and they can use whatever collection, whatever in your state law, or well, in Texas here, whatever available means to collect that. And we know how, honest and forgiving and understanding attorneys are. But yeah, I mean, this is what's coming down the pipe. I mean, it's not tinfoil hat stuff. I mean, I don't know if you want me to pull my page up. I don't know. I can show you where this stuff is on Legiscan, and how easy it is. Do you want to pull it up? I can pull it up.
You can, yeah.
All right. Let me see. Present. Share screen and entire screen. Okay, and hide my bookmarks.
Guys, be following. I know this isn't like the most popular segments on the show, showing you the behind the scenes, but this is what we need you doing.
This is, I mean, for everyone out there, I mean, if you guys think that I'm some technical wizard or, I've got all this moon man logic stuff, no, this is, I go to legiscan.com. Let me just actually make this super simple. Legiscan.com. Oh, I really messed that up. And then go to your state. Actually, you can, if you know the whatever, let's just pick on Texas and you type in, I already had this pulled up, but retroactive child support, click search, boom. It pulls up all the bills. It gives you the bill number, the state it's in, get detailed text. You can discuss it, although they're not going to pay attention to that. And then if you click on the text, it will pull up this is the one from Brian Hughes. So this is the one that says that reimburse child's mother for 50% of all reasonable necessary medical expenses incurred by the mother and child during gestation. For you non-medical folks, that's during the pregnancy. And delivery, and incurred by the mother, pay attention, and incurred by the mother during postpartum recovery that are not reimbursed by medical insurance. The cost of material to purchase by the mother in preparing for the child's birth that are necessary for the child's health and safety, including diaper, car seat, crib, clothing, infant formula. And here is the fun one. Lost wages as a result of time spent receiving medical attention during gestation, delivery, and postpartum recovery. Yeah. Put on your tinfoil hats, kids. This is what I'm talking about. And this one says 50%. They had a bill. Let's see. Oh, this was filed yesterday. They've already, and this guy, I think it's Glenn Rogers, sponsors. Yeah, Glenn Rogers. This guy, he's not a lawyer. He does cattle and some other weird stuff. So this makes no sense. But he's in a whole different area. This is what I'm talking about. This is not, weird coincidence. This is calculated. That this bill is essentially word for word the exact same thing, except for one big word. The word equitable has replaced 50%. Notice how everything else is the same?
What's his name? Brian Hughes?
Brian Hughes is the author of the first bill. And then Glenn Rogers is the guy that authored this one.
Representative?
Yeah, he...
I see it.
Sponsor. Yeah, Glenn Rogers. And then you can click on here and follow the money. Won't click on it, but that'll basically tell you where he gets his money and who paid. It's kind of neat to have it there. All the bills he's found. And what's weird about Glenn is that this is a bill, the one with the retroactive child support, and then support the electoral college, adopted and maintained by the Commissioner of Education, an amendment to observe daylight savings time. So it makes no sense why this guy popped off a retroactive child support bill. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
It does to me. I mean, they're in each other's back pockets, guys.
Well, yeah.
This is one of the things that you got to understand. I mean, people will get very excited if we find a legislator that's like, oh, I'll sponsor this. Yeah. We'll fight for you. What you don't know is he's got a buddy that he knows is going to squash you. They know it, but it looks like they are fighting for their constituents. It's all smoke and mirrors. That's why I like Mays Middleton. He showed us when he got there on 803 and called these guys out, how he feels about it. But they get their buddies in there and they'll even tell you, like, if I want to get this legislation through, this is who I need to co-sponsor it. This is who I need to introduce it in the Senate. It is all one big scam. And Texas is ripe. I mean, Texas is ripe right now for corruption. They made sure that they got the players that they want inside office. There's a reason why, like, David Lowe and Jeff Younger had so much money coming against them. They got the players they want, including the governor. They made sure Allen West didn't have a chance because now they can push through the crap that they want to get through. And all the while, people sit there and eat it up and allow it to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, I put that text that again you can replace the change surgery here and put in equal shared parenting. They do the exact same thing. This is the model right here. This is a text message on how it's done. This is what they do. And people need to wake up to that. They have to.
Oh, dude.
I mean,
my blood
Eric,
pressure,
man. Does this sound familiar for HB 803?
It sucks because there's people that are working hard and they'll think when you talk about this that you're poo-pooing on their efforts, and it's not that. You guys are good guys. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for your hard work. But this is who you're going to and asking them to change. And you know what? They'll sit there and they'll tell you everything in the book. So you keep your efforts going to these people that they know. They would rather have you in their back pocket knowing that they're not going to support you than you out there possibly going somewhere that can make a difference. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we can keep these people coming to us looking for the answers, knowing we're not going to give you the answers. And we don't have to worry about you because you're not doing anything that makes a difference. We've got to do something different, man.
Yeah.
And it's time to call them out. Dude, it's time to call them out. You know, I went to the Capitals, knocked on the doors, had the conversations and stuff. Those days are over for me, dude. I only did it because, see, look, this is the hard part about it. Every 2 or 4 years, you're going to have new people in office. So every time you make a relationship, you only have it for so long anyway. Mm-hmm. It is like the perfect way to make dads a hamster on the wheel. Just going like this. This isn't tinfoil hat stuff. Look at the crap that Dwayne's pulling up right now, man.
This is that bill, HB 1546 by David Cook. That name may sound familiar. He was on the JJFI, and he's actually on the JJFI for this go around.
Isn't that the one that's supposed to be sponsoring the shared parenting bill?
Yeah. I haven't seen that yet.
Texas. Come on, man.
Yeah. So what this order and payment of reasonable and necessary attorney fees, court costs, expenses, I would argue there's no such thing, but whatever.
We're not that desperate. We're desperate. We're not that desperate.
Yeah. Let's get down to the meat of it. And here we go. This is the meat of it. Section 1063.
Oh.
Hey, guys, give some likes. I finally got Eric to walk away. And I'm sorry I'm laughing. This is all this is how I respond to stress and pressure, because this is just driving me nuts. This bill here, if you're reading, basically it allows the attorney any post-judgment interest to be paid directly to the attorney and may enforce in order of the attorney's own name by any means available for the enforcement of judgment for debt. This is all it. This isn't tinfoil hat crap. This is the part that I'm like, this is what is coming down the pipe. And David Cook has said, I'm doing the next equal shared parenting bill. I'm doing this. I'm doing. This is what he's doing, right here. Now he is putting a bill, and this goes back to my other little this thing right here. He's putting a thing for 2503, which is custody interference, that they're may charge a $500 fee for occurrences. It's a state jail felony. Why are we putting a $500 penalty on it? That's ridiculous. But this is why it's so important people to get involved. Actually, I see Deborah here. It was the bill on that one. So for Joe, where's my mouse? Get all animated here. So that bill, Joe, is HB 1546. Let's see. Senate bill. Yeah, we got a House bill, got a Senate bill. Yeah, there's going to be ones that in different areas to ensure it passes. Let's see. Let's see. Deborah said, Dwayne, was it when you see SJ and a number? SJ and a number. I'm not sure where we're seeing that. I'll have to probably afterwards. I'll have to respond to that and pull it up so I'm not dancing all over the place. But this is the stuff, though, that people need to be aware of. And again, and for your state, this is again United States wide. You go in here, you pop your state in, like Ohio. I think. Wait, is it Ohio?
Go to North Dakota and look up Kramer.
North Dakota.
See, he's got something similar with that Unborn Child Support Act. No, it's with a Kramer with a C.
Let's see. Sorry,
Yep.
I watched that one. I think you have to do it by the name. The what? Oh, is it the unborn?
Unborn Child Support Act.
All right, here we go. No. So let's just do child support. That's always the tried and true one. Child support. All right, relating to child support guidelines, relating to child support guidelines as they relate to unemployment and overtime. Well, I'm sure that'll be an interesting one. Relating to child support fees and late child support payments, another good one. Relating to the suspension of operator's license. They're going nuts. Wow.
Dude.
Wow.
Yep. So again, guys, this is one of those things for the Roe v. Wade to make up for that. Look, we don't want you to have the right to abortion. At the same time, we want to make these fathers responsible. This issue is happening because fathers don't want to be dads. You know what? It's sad when dads having an opportunity to be dads if the mom doesn't want the kid isn't even a part of the conversation. Let's just go to the Unborn Child Support Act. But that one, dude, I mean, the thing is, guys, Dwayne, we can give it up. Look, this is going on all across the country right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it is their new plan again to make up for this whole Roe v. Wade thing. And there's a lot of this that's going on behind closed doors that we don't even know because most of you are at work. This is the crap that makes me want to run for office, dude. I'd love to make the bastards squirm. I'm serious, dude. Give me one time on that debate stage and say, what the hell are you doing? It is time for some sunshine. You'd see the witches starting to melt, dude.
Yeah, but that's going to take money because, like, what's going to happen is you can. Well, and I keep picking on Texas. In Texas, what happened is instead of having debates, the Republican Party in our county said we're not doing debates anymore because they were getting butts kicked.
Could you imagine in New York if they would have got on the debate stage with Larry Sharp?
Yeah,
there is no way they can't hang toe to toe with that guy. There is no way, and the only way that you can make them debate. Look, I've been a part of these political campaigns. I helped run one very early on, and that gave me a lot of knowledge about it. If the person's winning, you don't even acknowledge the loser. You don't even acknowledge that they exist. And unfortunately, those parties are so strong that the person that comes in there that's trying to do the right thing rarely gets an opportunity to be able to fight back. But I say the same thing for that again. What if that person had a platform? What if that person had a platform where they could get out the message, connect straight to the people, and they don't have to pay for billboards and all this other crap? And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Most of the time is name recognition. You can get the most advertising, billboards, videos on social media, and they will pay whatever they've got to. Like the millions of dollars that they pay to get these people in positions is child's play to the money that's going in that we keep funding the American people to get these people. Think about it. They're spending millions of dollars to get positions that pay $50,000 to $60,000 a year. Where does that make sense, guys? It tells you it's about control and power. Why are you going through what you're going through in the family courts? Because somebody wants control and power and money, right? It's all one big jumbled mess that gives me diarrhea.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's why we need to get people involved because the opposition is going to fight against you. I mean, what's happened here, I'm sure what happened to Larry and other people is that we get a guy that gets fed up and he's like, I'm going to run. Well, he doesn't, get money. He doesn't get support. He doesn't get any of those things. And then the last week before the race, their opponent gets $1 million injected into their campaign by the GOP. I'm sorry, I was going to say GOP. Well, you know what? GOP. That's what happened last go around.
Call them out.
And then all the the soccer moms and the part-time dads, whatever we want to call them, and trying to come up with funny names for them. They watch TV in between the Super Bowl and the Grammys, and they go, "Oh, I'm going to vote for Phil. I'm going to vote for Click. I'm going to and then they if they vote at all, that's what they do because that's what they're told and that's what they see on TV. And guys like you or me or anyone else that decide to run, their name's not getting out there. And then if they do a smear campaign, there's no way. I mean, politics has just gotten so ridiculously crazy. It's nuts. Anyway,
political alienation. Yeah. I want to coin the term. Political alienation is what it's become. You think because it's either the left or the right, they belong. Dude, they belong to the same bird, guys.
Oh yeah,
they do. Turkey. It's political gangs, and that's what it is. I mean, at the same time, does that mean that I just completely tear apart from that affiliation? Dude, I would have marched around and knocked many doors for somebody like Lieutenant Colonel Allen West. But not these guys. They got in who they want to get in, and they're doing what they want to do. Okay.
So we need the parents. We need family to say, this is it. We are going to get involved. We are going to go to Legiscan. We're going to get educated. We're going to go to these political events and start speaking to these people and putting them on notice and supporting good candidates morally or socially, financially, and all that, and get these people in because the other side has no desire for us to succeed.
You want to know how we could fight back at it right now? It's going to be unpopular. I'll tell you right now. Let's produce a good video that explains to people, dumbs it down, what these bills are going to do, raise up thousands of dollars, and advertise it in the markets where these guys represent.
Ooh, yeah.
That's it. But who's going to donate to it? Dad Talk can't do it alone. And look, they're not even letting us see our full people right now. That's why I would say like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribing over there on YouTube and dinging the bell so you get the notifications when we go live. But the one hope that we've got is to make something and show what's going on behind the scenes, where the money is coming from, and just completely promote it in the area where these guys are supposed to be representing and letting the people know what they're wanting to do with your families. And I'm telling you, I'd be 100% behind that, and I don't want to make one red penny doing it, but I'll need the money in order to get the videos out. I'll show you what I'll do with it. Yeah,
it takes a lot. I mean, little thing, and there was that donating the stars, all this stuff. There's the tumblers, which I don't think you're making really anything off these now because all the
dude. How many orders do you think came in?
We're gonna go there. I mean, we're gonna really go there. I mean, on this one.
It's nah. I mean, I don't really want to go there. It's just people are completely blinded as to the challenge that we're up against.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if that's what I'm getting in as one of the bigger platforms behind these issues, guys, we got a long way to go. Long way to go.
Yeah.
When talking about making these videos and being able to fight back against this, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars that need to be put behind these videos. So I would do it. I'd create the videos. I'd give my time for it, but I don't have the money to promote those in that area. So we've got one of two options. We could try that, or we can sit back and say, shit, it's here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's two choices. It's, get rally behind Eric and say, hey, we're going to support you. He's already kind of laid his
behind me. You're rallying behind the dads in your own families. I don't live in Texas. I don't live in North Dakota. I don't live in Florida. You ain't rallying behind me. I'm willing to do it, even though that's not my state. I marched Nebraska. I marched Iowa, Connecticut, Maine, you name it. We've been to the states. I don't live there. You weren't supporting me when I did that. Heard somebody say, we supported you to come to our state. You gave me $200. You know what it cost me to get up there and to go march a capital that I don't live at? You're not supporting me. You're supporting the dads. You're supporting this movement. And we need it. You need it. You can sit here and tell me I need to do stuff all day long, but if I don't have the resources to help fight for you, that's not on me at the end of the day, guys. You have the opportunity to do something now. We're sitting on the other end of it. Give it 6 months or a year. We're going to be on the other end of it. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to suck.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, just with what you've seen today, I know a lot of your heart's in Texas, and I mean, well, you came down here a couple years ago and did a lot of stuff, and you know Mays Middleton, you know a lot of just what you've read of these bills. If they go through,
You're
it's
screwed. Guys, I have no exes in Texas.
Neither do I. Well, no, I think I got one or two. Oh wait, whole different topic.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I had to turn around and put a little humor here because we were getting
it's
rightly
frustrating.
so, we're getting dark. It is.
It's very frustrating because, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to find out what's going on. And we dads are more important than this, than the way they've treated us. We're just on here fighting for our family. You'll paint us as all these other things. We are just dads that want our families and want you to stay the hell out of them.
Yeah.
We don't come in your yard. We don't mess with your families. Don't mess with ours. I don't care what position you've got beside your name. That doesn't mean that you have the right to come into my life and mess with my families. And that's what these lawmakers do every single day. If you guys wanted to make money, you're already making it on the taxes. Do your damn job and start doing the right thing. And maybe you wouldn't have to scam families out of their money, and it would make the world a better place. Dude, I am afraid at the rate that we're going one day, we're in a very sad situation. We're in a very sad situation, not with just American politics, but with the whole world. Empathy has went out the window.
Oh, yeah. When you got people crying, dealing with all kinds of stuff, and you got people that are laughing at them and making fun of them, or just the apathy, just not caring about it until it happens to them. And then only while it happens to them. I miss Kennedy. I'm sorry, I wasn't around for Kennedy. I had to read about Kennedy. But he was like, God, I mean, people jazzed up to do stuff, to get involved. And I don't know, I think after him, I don't know.
My dad was a huge Kennedy fan. My dad was a liberal. I don't know that he would have been nowadays, by no means, especially as a pastor. No. But I remember back in the 90s and early 2000s, he's like, I can't stand the Bushes. And dude, I remember everybody like, how could you act that way? And now the same people that look down on him for saying that are like, look at what is going on. I mean, it's a protected class, man. Nobody that's up in those offices are there for us guys. They don't even know what it's like to walk a mile in your shoes. They really don't. They only say that if they have to make videos to make you think that they relate to you. Dude, they're eating $2,000 and $5,000 suppers. I've been invited to them. Come to the fundraiser. You've been invited. It's only $5,000 or $10,000 to eat supper. That's what we've got to do as advocates to be able to get their conversation and their attention. Trust me, guys. I got an invite not long ago. You know how much they wanted me to pay for supper to go and meet with one of these legislators? I've got proof. I'll show you. I still got the email. $100,000. I was only 1 out of 12 that got invited. You have been cordially invited. Why, thank you. I feel so special that you need $100,000 for me to come up there to fight with dads and eat this filet mignon. I'll tell you what you can do with that filet mignon. I'm a Pete. Like message? How about we go get a $5 Little Caesars and shoot the shit and say, how can we make America great again?
Yeah. And what does that say? Well, they're like, yeah, we need to have dinner or filet mignon or filet mignon where I'm from.
That we know we've got the public duped, that they're the ones that are funding this, and that if we get on there and do the same things we've always done, we can get the support that we've always got.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, when you got people lecturing you on, doing this or not doing this, and then they're doing it like, hey, your carbon footprint, but they're in a jet. I'm trying to come up with some easy hypocrisies. That just shows that they just don't care. That is, they're going to do whatever they want to you. And it looks like we're going to let them. That's just the sad part. God, I'm trying to figure out a way to like ramp us all up and get us happy. Do we have any homework this week? Any positive? What can we do? I mean, I know we're going to have Jimmy on tomorrow.
Taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Dieting, taking care of ourselves, keeping your mental health going strong. This is the kind of crap that puts me in the doctor, man, and keeps me awake at night because it feels like you hit a dead end, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not because people aren't wanting to do anything, guys. I promise you. Us men need to get our heads out of our own butts and realize we've got to organize, you know?
Yeah. Locally, nationally, across the board, we need to get over ourselves and our
Ecuador, dude.
organization.
Guy had to change his gender in Ecuador. Australia, I've been talking to them all. Can we become an international force? I mean, it doesn't matter how we do it. Let's get our people to the freaking table. And it sucks because I know we probably do our show during one of the worst times, 10 a.m. Eastern. The guys are at work, but make sure they're catching the replays.
Yeah,
If everybody that was watching this show right now sent it to 5 people and say, I wanted you on here tomorrow, watch the difference that makes. And then you tell them to do the same. And then you tell them to do the same. And then watch what happens. But they need to subscribe and ring the bell so they know when we go live. And it's not just something that falls away on their feet. We're doing important work here. And we are doing work that is going to have devastating consequences, guys. And it's going to get even worse when these bills go through. The support that we're going to have from Fathers Dwayne is going to get cut in half even more, if not more.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If
Once let me pick out a name here. I don't want to pick on Robert or Mike. Let's just say Bob's in the comments. Once Bob gets a letter in the mail telling him he's being summoned to court to take care of a child that wasn't there for or whatever, and has 20, 25, 30% of his income removed from him the next 18, 21 years, then they're going to start coming in. What can we do? What can we do? It's too late, dude.
Well, what about the guy that's doing everything he can just to make the monthly child support payment that he's doing now, and magically out of nowhere you get a letter, you owe 9 more months, and if you don't pay it, you're in arrears. We're going to get the interest going, you're going to lose your license, or you're going to go to jail. You either pay or you're going to jail, guys. Does it sound like a criminal? Does it sound like a thief coming in and trying to take away your life from you? Because it does to me. That's exactly what it sounds like to me. And trust me, you can sit here and say how preposterous it is, and it is, but they're going to do it. There is no tinfoil around right now. These are bills. If you go read it for yourself, they are going to do it. They have every plan. They're not just doing this to do it or to talk about it. They are doing this because they want to make it law. And in order to pay for it, in order to make money, they need you, Dad. If that doesn't piss you off, man, I mean, you know what? If it doesn't, that's okay with you. If that's what you want to go down, if that's what you want to put out for the future generation, I guess I can sit back and wait until it happens to Georgia, and then that's when I'll ramp up.
Yeah, and maybe that's something. I mean, we need to get all the organizations hopped up and getting involved, joining hands, all that good stuff.
That'll never happen.
Yeah. As I'm saying it, it's like it's burning my tongue as it's coming out, because
that'll never happen. We won't even go in that direction.
As long as I'm at the top, as long as I'm number one, then put that Dad Talk Today mug down, because it's got to all be about the ABC organization or whatever. Although it's funny, on one of my other podcasts I do, I regularly pop this up. Get your tumblers. Do this. If your organization sells shirts, go there. Blah blah blah. I'm equal opportunity, but I'm sure a number of them don't like that. But whole different back infighting conversation. Oh, homework for the week. I mean, tomorrow we're going to have Jimmy on. And we're going to get to hear all kinds of cool stuff, unveiling of, I don't want to release too much because I don't know what you want to release. There's some really cool crap coming down. Oh, he's just doing it. He's just like, screw it. Let's just throw it out there. The Big Show with Jimmy Smith. The Big Show. Yeah.
Well, let's give them a little bit of it just so they know what questions to ask. So he was a big fan of Paul White. And so his stage name was The Big Show. The Big Show with Jimmy Smith, and we was looking for a name for the show. I think it's going to be important because you can see the frustration on me and Dwayne's face doing the conversation that we are today. So let's get a little break from it. We'll be back with it on Monday, I promise. But we're going to talk about something a little bit different. But, dude, you got to hear the guy's backstory. I mean, the backstory of him thinking for 18 years that his stepdad was his dad, and his dad was dead and spent his whole life looking for him is, controversial enough. Right. But he is an interesting character, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's some stuff I can't tell you on here, but I mean, if you're wondering, supposedly, allegedly, the one that portrayed him on Magic Mike, the one is Big D Richie. I'm just going to say
how you're going to get around that. Okay. Big balance.
Big Richie. Use your imagination. Rhymes with
appendage. 6. There we go. Yeah, no.
Don't think I'm not calling him that every time I get a chance.
Oh, yeah.
To say that was what I was portrayed as in a movie. You know what my character was? I was Big D Richie.
Yeah. See, I would say that, and then my wife will look at me and go, yeah. Whatever. Yeah, no, Jimmy's a great guy. I've had a chance to talk to him off air a few times, actually, even this morning. And just a great guy, big heart, just easy to talk to. Just, wealth of knowledge. And the way he delivers it, just great. I would say everybody, tune in tomorrow because, you're in for a treat. It's just good stuff all the way around.
Well, as big of a guy as he is, you would expect like a meathead, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Get in here. And probably one of the most gentle guys out there, but he doesn't mind being very bold in what he says.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's a man's man. He's the man, Yeah, no, he can be real calm and he can walk the walk and talk the talk and, in a lot of different areas. And he can also, he's comfortable. I would say he's comfortable being out talking to, anybody about anything. And he's also, of course, he's been to the gym once or twice. He's also, rub some dirt on it, get back in the game, quit being a wuss, blah, blah. He can, he's well, and he loves to research. He's a nerd in that respect. He loves doing research.
I thought it was crazy listening to you two talk about Voltron.
Yeah, we'll have to, yeah.
But thank you for that, Deborah. She said, make sure to share the GoFundMe. We have raised $4,300 out of $50,000. We are 10% of the way of getting this up for John Mast. In the name of transparency, I will tell you there was $1,000 donation that came off screen that they didn't want to do on GoFundMe. So we're actually at $5,300 on this right now. Sent that immediately over to the family. If you can, whatever you got. And this hurts me, guys. Up until this moment, you haven't heard me asking for money. I'll tell you about the links. I'll tell you about like the shop and stuff, but I'm not saying you got to give me this. I'm not doing that. At the same time, this is one where I'm asking for money for the Mast family to fight this for John. It's one thing for us to say we stand with John, and it's another to do it. This is going to be a battle. That sounds like a lot of money. And for us, it is $50,000. It's taken in community. Guys, almost $750,000 if you combine all the social media accounts. I have been putting this out on every platform, and so far we have raised right at $5,300. Do you see how hard it is to raise money towards something? And John Mast is the biggest story that we've ever done. Even made the documentary on it.
Right.
Got 2 million views on it. We've raised $5,300. $50,000 when things start to go to court is nothing. There is 2 different attorneys. I don't want to get too deep into that on what's going on. And they are very good people, dude. This is mainly just going to cover expenses that are going to be accrued in the middle of the fighting. Okay. So if you can help in any way, 100% of these proceeds are going back to the Mast family. Please help me get that link out there. I am proud that we have raised that. Every little dollar counts. And I hate asking you guys because I know some of the situations that you're in. That's the whole reason, Dwayne, that Dad Talk was started in the first place. I was I wasn't 9 to 5. I'm not going to call myself a 9 to 5 dad. I left my house at 1:30 in the morning, started work at 3 o'clock in the morning, And I sometimes didn't get off until 6 or 7 o'clock at night and still had an hour drive to come back home to 2 of my daughters that I was a single dad to. And I had to wash their clothes. I had to make sure I had supper cooked if they needed help with their homework or whatever. And I'd get 2 or 3 hours of sleep and I was back to doing it again. And I still didn't have enough money to support my family, but I also got another kid that I'm wanting to fight to see, and I don't have the money to pay the attorney. And I remember, where is my resources? One of the most common things is I need a pro bono attorney. If I tell them my story, they're going to feel sorry for me and they're going to fight for free. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. When you get in these court cases, dude, there's not just attorneys sitting around saying, I can't wait to help him get his family. It's about money. You feel lost, you feel broken, you feel beaten down, you feel like nobody understands what you're going through. And if you're going through it, where do you go? At least now you have Dad Talk Today that you can come to. You can know that you're not alone, that you can hear people saying those thoughts that are in your head. That's what this platform was made for. But I understand that many of you may not have it. But if you have anything, every dollar counts. If we can fight that case and we can see justice brought to light, that is a win for this movement. Don't kid yourself. That's a little win. If we can do the little wins, we can start moving our ways to the big wins. You understand? If we can do the little ones, we can move our way to the big ones. So please help me. That case has so much in my heart because John came here for answers, dude. And I think one of the reasons I get so frustrated when these parents reach out, when somebody's dying, they're like, can you help me? I can turn on this microphone. We can go live and we can tell the stories like I did. Is that stopping anything? No. This is somewhere that I can give back to people that have really helped me. But it's also my way of fighting for John. He came to me for answers. We did what we could, but we're still fighting for you, buddy. We're still fighting for you, man. And I want to see this case all the way through. There's not a red cent of that goes to me. That case is 2 years old, and we've got to make it get back out there again. The mainstream media don't want to touch it because it's 2 years old. It's up to our media now. It is up to our movement to make sure we're getting justice for this. And don't think I'm blind to there being thousands of other cases like John's that are going on right now. Look, I've put my full attention towards this one, and look what we've got. That's your reality, guys. $5,300. Say we wanted to go up to Washington, D.C. just to lobby against a bill right now, and I had to take 5 guys just in the travel. We'd be done with it. Like we wouldn't have no money to do anything else. That's how struggling we are right now. What I don't understand is there's people that will go and give hundreds of thousands of dollars to an attorney to try to fight for their kids. But when it comes to this movement trying to fight, if somebody asks for $10 or some monetary support, they go nuts.
Yeah. What do I get for it? Oh, I don't think so. Yeah, they'll donate. Well, I think actually the guy that murdered John, he had a GoFundMe, and I think they contributed a lot to his campaign or to his GoFundMe. I mean, it
wasn't a lot, but it was more than I would ever expect somebody to put in there. And it was friends of the family. But yeah, they had a GoFundMe going there, and I didn't. Look, they're trying to raise expenses on the other end. Who the hell are we if we say we stand with John and then we won't get behind a GoFundMe like this?
Yeah.
You know? And I'm not trying to shame anybody.
Well,
this is as transparent as it gets, man. It is.
You got to call. I mean, you have to call out. Yeah, we're not like, hey, you, Bob, you're a horrible person. You need to give money. But this is where it's at. I mean, if you think that there's going to be some benefactor that's going to drop 50 grand on this, it ain't happening. It's going to come from the community. And also it does show though, like what we can do. I mean, hopefully we can get there and help the mass. I mean, who's done so much for the community?
And this isn't, I don't want this to come off wrong. 1,000 of that 5,300 was my money.
Wow.
Okay. Do I have the type of money to just go throw a donation like that away? No. It's going to cost me money in August to make sure that I'm outside that courthouse. Okay. Yeah. And I'm having a hard enough time raising the money to make sure they can fight it. And what happens when I got to go out to Idaho? Holy crap, dude. It's a challenge, guys. I can promise you, we are 100% transparent. If you ever want to know where something's going to, ask. You'll receive. I'll show it to you. It takes a lot to do what we do, but the Mass family don't even want to be this to happen, dude. They need it. And they, you know, one of them, I mentioned a fundraiser, and it really hurt the family to know that I'm out there having to do this because they need it in order to be able to do it. But they want justice.
Right.
No, and that was one of those things like, I'm going to do it and ask forgiveness later. Right. I'm going to do it and ask forgiveness later. But later on this month, dude, when I get to go out to Colorado, I have forgot about it. That some of the seeds that we have planted, I think are going to end up sprouting. You know, 4 years ago, I forgot raising money for the girl, that 5-year-old Sophia. And the family is wanting to take me to her tombstone that this community bought.
Wow.
This was a 22-year-old father, still a kid, man. And he loses his 5-year-old daughter. And that GoFundMe helped buy that tombstone that you're going to see later on this month. There's many things that this community has done that's beautiful. I couldn't have done that without you. I started it. I was the voice behind it. I raised it. But at the same time, it was you guys that contributed towards it. Think about that. Little differences that we can make when everybody does just a little bit, you know. And that tombstone isn't going to bring little Sophia back. But at least that father has that to look upon, dude. They do come to find out, they do a car show every year now. Like 700 people show up. They have like 400 cars that show up at this car show, and they rally around her grave to keep the awareness going out about these situations. Crazy, man. Crazy. But I guess that's about it, guys.
Yeah, well.
You had some?
Well, let's say that, you know, ended on, you know, kind of, the community. I mean, you guys have rallied together. I thought about Christmas. I think it's only 2 months ago. The call went out to the people to help some parents that, you know, kids weren't going to have Christmas, and, you know, people answered. People went out of their way to help, gave sacrificially. Want to pull up actually Deborah's comment. I hope she's not embarrassed by this. Well, she wrote the comment, so it's on her. But she's got $40 for the rest of the month. You got to donate 10 as a challenge, and asking other people to match that $10 donation. I would ask that the GoFundMe's in there. $10. I know people are broke, but $10. Or what, you know what? Whatever you can, help out. I mean, these people are giving sacrificially, and that's what we're going to do to move that needle. The tombstone, Christmas, all the other things that we're trying to do. I saw a comment that popped up from Mike. I love Mike. But lost my train of thought.
Rumor I make $80,000 a month, guys. Get somebody to. I'm saying this publicly on the show. Get somebody to show you any proof that I've ever made money. $80,000 a month. I will quit Dad Talk, and I'll even give my studio to him.
You won't be buying any bubble wrap anytime soon, though.
I will quit. If they hate me that bad that they got to put rumors out about me, get them to show you any proof. I will show you how crazy this is, and it's people inside the community. And I tell you, I don't even like putting attention towards it, but I will tell you that. Get any proof of it. It reminds me of the ex making the allegations inside a family court. It's the same exact thing, dude.
Yeah,
but they just got to make people believe it, right? Because they don't like what you're doing.
Yeah,
and that's the other side.
Yeah, they'll you know, throw rain and heat on someone and lie and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, that rumor that people have went out and said that, and it's just a bunch of nonsense. Because I'm waiting. I mean, I'm waiting for the payout. When's that happening? There's no money. We're all a bunch of broke parents doing this on their own time. You're working 25 out of 24 hours a day, 8 days a week.
At the same time, it needs to be ran like a business, because it's going to have employees. It's going to have reporters. It's going to have people that are getting involved in the legislation. You're going to have your people that are involved on the website, the social media. It's got to be organized. And as long as you got people that are sitting around like, he got $10. It's never going to happen. That was the biggest thing. Like talking to that advocate the other day, 24 years they've worked behind legislation with shared parenting. She was talking about, I spent hundreds of hours putting together these meetings, had like 70 people show up, all of them saying I needed help. And we passed around like an offering plate, kind of like they would do at church. And she's like, Eric, I got $4.10. And she said, I can't keep doing this. And then, like, they was trying to do this. But it's also the thing that keeps people here is knowing what we're fighting for.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's knowing what we're fighting for. At the same time, you know, people want to see it on Fox News. They want to see it on Rogan. They want to see it all these other places. We ain't even nowhere near the money that it takes to get to some of the levels that people expect it to be at. And I guess that's the transparency with it, because I don't want to make it sound that bad. I mean, look, 750,000 people that are following these social media pages. That's a lot of people, man. That is a lot of people. What if every one of them gave $1? You know, I don't think we look at it that way, but I mean, it could happen. The thing is, though, when I do get money, I put it right back into the platform. You saw me go to 43 states. You saw me go to the conferences. You see me shoot the documentaries. What in the hell is anybody else doing with money that they're asking for is what I'd like to know. Where is that money going?
I've seen you buy, well, again, when down here in Texas, I saw you buy the tickets on the hope and the prayer that you were going to get reimbursed for it at some point through a hopeful donation. Or, I mean, there was nothing concrete for it, but you just went in and said, boom, done. And you did it.
And I didn't. I never got reimbursed. And I bought pizza for the guys too. You know what? I've been blessed. And the reason I do stuff like that, Dwayne, is I know that if I go out on a leap of faith, that I'm going to be taken care of. And I'm not even that religious of a guy, but there's things that happen with dad talk I've never been able to explain. I still say that the trip to South Dakota, I got the check over here that I saved, cost me $1,000 for a rental car for 4 days. And I sat there stressing, felt like my insides were going to burst. And on the last day, some stranger comes up and says, "What's your name?" and hands me $1,000 check. And I'm sitting there looking at it. The exact dollar that it cost me to get that rental car that I'm sitting here stressing about just got brought to me out of the middle of nowhere. If that's not a sign that we're on the right track, dude, I don't know what is. I want to frame that thing because it's confirmation. So when it comes to stuff like that was going down there in Texas, I didn't even think twice about it because I know as long as we're doing the right thing, it's going to happen. You know, I could sit there and try to sell this thing and get financial security right now, but I don't believe it's what's best for this movement. We've got to be able to say what we need to say because I believe the more as time goes by, even just mentioning the word dad is going to be a no-no. It's almost there. To be honest with you, it is completely almost there. I am surprised that Wash and What is a Woman was even allowed to be released. I can't believe he hasn't been banned on everything. I mean, from what I hear, his Dr. Phil episode's been taken down now.
Oh yeah, they've
Did you know about that?
Yeah, they took it down. Of course, now Phil's being ending his show, so who knows? It's just
they had no argument against Walsh on that show. They don't like that. They usually can shape the narrative however they want. I watched the last time like the father's rights and men's rights advocates went on the show, and they went and got this guy that hates all women, that's gay, that believes women have no right whatsoever to even breathe, pretty much. It made him look like he was a men's rights, father's rights guy. With Dr. Warren Farrell and Casey J and all these people sitting over there like, no, who is this guy? They let him speak more than anybody. And then at the end of it, they had a questionnaire. Do you believe that men are being oppressed? And like the majority voted no. And that was how they put out the narrative against you guys. You know, I talked to the producer leading up to that, and it was Paul Elam that really opened my mind to this because they invited Paul Elam from A Voice for Men to be on that Dr. Phil episode. And I couldn't, at first I was really upset at Paul because he said he wasn't going to do it. And I'm like, man, why would you turn down mass media? Like, we need this. And then he even goes a step further and post a public thing that said, I will not be showing up, but Dr. Phil, there is one condition that I will show up on that show if you wear a red dress and a blonde wig, because I want to embarrass you like you do everybody else on your show to make ratings. He's like, if you do that, I'll show up. If not, I want nothing to do with you. I paraphrased it, but he did. Red dress, blonde wig. And I can remember, like, I want to get attention for these issues anywhere I can. Sometimes does it seem like an intention whore? It is, because that's what it is. It's like, look at what's going on. Look at what's going on. We need attention for what is going on. But at the same time, watching this big platform and him just like shutting it down, I was kind of on Warren Farrell's side, to be honest with you. Like, Warren wanted to go there and do that. And then I looked at the way they treated him, and I'm like, I just learned something from Paul. I just learned something. He didn't sell out, and he already knew what was going to happen.
Yep.
He already knew what was going to happen. That's why when I heard they was going to do another father's rights thing coming up, I was getting the messages like, you need to go. No, absolutely not. No, you don't have to sell yourself out for this kind of stuff, guys. There is people that want to take it, and they're looking for the one thing you do wrong. And then that's who they want to make you out to be. And there is nobody here that is perfect, but we are a group of dads that just want to be inside of our kids' lives, and they put price tags on the kids. And at the end of the day, that's it. That's all we need to be letting them know, because we can back that up. You know, it's trash, man. Like, it really is trash. It's like anytime you do get invited, there's a catch to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a catch to it.
Frame the narrative, make you look bad and say, see, this is that. Yeah. Yeah. And we've got to overcome that and get people out, get them involved, change that narrative. When you hear somebody talking about, men are, idiots or whatever, have that person stand up and go, no, they're not. They're worthwhile. They're good. They're good dads. They're good people. We wouldn't be where we're at today without men. Fact.
That's it, guys. Men, dads. Yes. There we go. Thank you. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dad Talk. You can contribute down there. We've told you the different links. Make sure to get out that GoFundMe. We will be back tomorrow with The Big Show with Jimmy Smith.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Let me tell you something, brother.
It's going to be a good one. I forget what I think it's dating after divorce. Dating after divorce to be the topic for tomorrow. But I got a meeting I got to get over to. So, Dwayne, I enjoyed it, man. We'll do this again at 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, guys. Hey, make sure to go tell those representatives and those legislators that we showed you today how you feel about those bills.
Yeah, we'll know.
Just let them know. Yeah.
Let them know what you think.
All right. See you tomorrow. Hey, everybody. Eric Carroll here. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of Dad Talk Today. While we fight for you, we would ask for you to please help fight for us. Like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell so you get notifications every time we go live. There's also Super Chats, patreon.com/dadtalktoday, and other ways you can support our channel. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next.